Are players to get a lot of elims early, and here it is. Iron Man's Repulsor Gauntlets has the ability to air blast to get some great elevation, at the same time come on in with some of those repulsor blasts. But here it is, the big doggy Iron Man's Unibeam with some great action that we've been seeing throughout the entire EU region, Clay.
Yeah, one of the strongest superpowers in the game, but you can't forget about Doom's mystical bomb there. Breaks all those builds, does start fire damage, as well as his arcane gauntlet, so strong just to put damage down, and you can use them as mobility as well.
Absolutely, Doom's arcane gauntlets and mystical bomb are a factor, but there is a lot, just like Venom smash and grab. We already saw Frey being on the wrong end of that, pulls you through builds, costs 50 HP, and the opportunity to kind of follow up with some big time blasts. But Thor's Mjolnir Hammer Strike, such a big factor in the EU region. It comes through builds from the heavens.
It does, but we haven't gotten to see this one as much as the others. It's Wolverine's Claws and his Whirlwind Smash. Does a lot of damage, locks you into these close encounters, just like the She-Hulk Fist right here as well. So maybe we see the NA East players work more with these.
No doubt, the melee being a huge factor, and mobility being something as an underlying thing. And another Marvel power is Storm's Whirlwind Blast. The ability to kind of absorb projectiles, break down builds, is a huge defensive Marvel power. But one of the ones that we actually have been not seen that much of is Black Panther's kinetic armor. Wakanda Forever, being the ability to absorb some of that HP damage and come out with a radiant blast.
And you talk about absorbing some damage. Groot's Bramble Shield will protect you from that damage, but it does have an HP bar, so you have to be careful about that. It also heals you up and your teammates up if you're nearby. Can also be used as a rotational tool to get up mountains, get away. And speaking of getting away, Sancho, we've got Silver Surfer's board.
Yeah, absolutely. The Silver Surfer board has been a big factor combined.
Start in kind of an open format. That was round number 1, and now we are looking at the top 1,000 duos. So 2,000 players competing in round number 2. And at the end of this 3-hour window, we'll crown Marvel heroes / champions. I don't even know what to call them. I want to call them heroes so bad, Sancho.
Yeah, and already in the EU side of things, we saw Janice walk away with the whole thing with his partner of Reason. So that was a huge performance. We saw them pull away about mid of the queue times. But Clay, this is the format that they're going to be competing in right here today.
Yeah, and for some of our players, a very familiar format, right? 55 points for that victory royale is a lot. You also get 5 points for every elimination. So a lot of points on the grab, or up on the board for the grab.
100%. And we've already seen, I mean, you kind of touched on it, Sancho. Reason, Janice, these guys had like 70, almost 80 eliminations by the end, and that can accrue so many points. Just being able to trade with other players and walk away the victor. And don't forget, there is prize money on the line for every single team here that is going to make it up all the way into 250th place. So really cool. Everyone's going to get a little bit of something walking away at the end of the day. And for us, we get to see awesome Marvel super-powered action. If you guys watch over in EU, you know these games are going to be crazy.
Marvel knockout tournament, so I got to pick them.
Wow, my prediction is going to be I am Groot and I am Groot. So if you speak the Groot language, you know exactly who I said, and that's going to be my pick. And now we go back into Doom's Domain, which is the exact same point that we start off in the EU side of things. We've been noticing that in these POIs, the power POIs throughout the FNCS competitive tournament has still been a hot spot for a lot of our competitors to kind of just venture through and at least try to make an attempt to rack up a lot of early elims.
Yeah, and yes, you see already eliminations coming out through the feed, but Doom's Domain is a little bit quiet. There's not really much happening, so we're on the way over to Stark Industries. You can thank Tony for that one coming in, and oh, unfortunately, not going to be able to hide out is Hi, I'm Lilo, and that's just an Iron Man Unibeam from Iron Man himself. No player there. He hasn't even gone down yet, Sancho.
No, not at all. Now Iron Man's getting taken out. Now the vault is in play, and you're seeing a lot of destruction as Rehan and Aqua getting 6 elims, and they're picking up another easy opportunity right then and there. It's catching someone at the reboot van. So a hot start. You know, more than anything, Clay, with these kind of open lobbies, you want to have that hot start to kind of propel you in the leaderboard, so you could kind of just, you know, maximize that opportunity with these skill-based matchmaking in these tournaments, and that is what Rihan and Aqua are doing right here. And if they could pop off a 20 elim game with the Victory Royale, that's going to be a great head start to get ahead of that pack.
Indeed, you heard the Sundown talk about min-maxing your cooldowns. You also need to min-max how many games you have and how many points you get per game. That is an elo system in of itself, so you have to be aware of where you are on the leaderboard at all time and where you are on pace to get into that upper echelon of prizing. We see over in Dirty Docks already a fight that is breaking out. Only one team here, no real offensive superpowers except for Thor's Mjolnir strike coming up from up above. It's not going to hit anybody, unfortunately, but they can use Silver Surfer's board offensively. They can get into these boxes with it, but they're playing safe. They're trying to stay back here because they don't want to go down too early, and David, unfortunately, gonna fall to Gig's combat shotgun there.
And as we're watching this engagement, let's go ahead and catch all the audience up to speed to what would be the Marvel Super Cup. It is a mixture of the Marvel powers alongside with the arena mode. So you're going to have a siphon in health every time you get an elimination. Also, you're going to have mats dropped per elimination, but there's going to be changes. The vehicles have been disabled. Motorboats have been disabled. There is a new material cap lowering down to 200, 200, 200 of each across the board versus 500, 500, 500. At the same time, the materials dropped on elimination has been lowered to 20, 20, 20 versus 50, 50, 50. And we have been seeing in the EU region, Clay, that kind of like limitation on the builds is going to allow to a lot of mid-game elims and for ability for players to have pop-off moments. Now, we're seeing Rain and Steel is here, 3 elims as well. So popping off the well in Stark Industries, just showing you how valuable landing in these hot POIs can be.
Especially because you can get a legendary or epic pump right off of spawn. If you can get that, you can change the tide. Iron Man's Unibeam doesn't matter. Groot's Bramble Shield doesn't matter. You've got a legendary pump. That's one shot to the head, and unfortunately, you'll get eliminated not long after that. But look, they're playing cautiously. Yes, they have 3 eliminations. Yes, they have all of this aggression, but they don't know anything about Rihan and Aqua's HP. They are on the back foot. They don't have the HP advantage, but they wait for that little pop-out moment, get that one tap. Ooh.
I agree, and it's still in line for Monster D-Face. You are a man and a half when you have yourself this epic, legendary weapon in your arsenal. And there it is. You mentioned that pop it out from the desk to make sure you got all your kind of TPS reports done accurately as Aqua goes down to the ambush play from Steels and Rain. But I've been saying this whole time, Clay, in the EU side, hey, Stark Industry, it giveth and taketh. You have these opportunities that you could pop up, but you kind of mentioned you got to have your head on a swivel because that ambush could come out of nowhere and wipe you right back into the lobby.
And we saw that with EU as well. A lot of bush plays, a lot of ambushes coming out, and that is a factor of not having as many builds. You're not as confident. And with the ability that can go through these walls, like Iron Man's Unibeam and Doom's Mystical Bomb that creates an AoE fire, you have to always be ready. You cannot just confidently sit in a box. And look, Rain and Steels, they are camping this reboot card.
Yeah, you have to be careful because that Unibeam could go through. And to mention, in the public matches, there's only one Unibeam out and about. Now, what the players are able to obtain superpowers from floor loot, chests, Stark supply drones as well. So you're going to see multiple Unibeams, multiple Storms, multiple Black Panthers, multiple Wolverines, and I know, hey, Season Tree doing some work here with Wolverine's Claws, and that's what I'm talking about. That little smashdown whirlwind slash going down to that final double claw. Don't put it down, please. Please hold on to it. I just want to see it in its use, Clay.
I do too, and you can farm with them as well. As long as you don't jump, you gain materials, as well as with She-Hulk's Fist. So it is a really good ability, especially when you have lower mat caps. You go through on this bridge, you don't have any metal, slash a couple times, boom, you're back up to full metal, and you get back up to fighting ability. We do see Rihan, unfortunately, going to fall there in the feed, so he will go down. That ambush did end up working. But right now, Season Tree and HNG, they are coming up onto a team in these bush areas of this house that's got that henchman chest down there. They've got to be careful. They may be subject to an ambush as well.
And you're seeing that the max builds per player is going to be 60. So that's what we mean that they have the maximum, considering that there is a mat lore. It's not going to be 150 that you're used to seeing. Here we go. Sentry and going in. Can Wolverine's Claws be a factor in this box-to-box situation? We have yet to see it on the broadcast stage here today on Fortnite. Let's see. Here it goes. Wolverine Claws go out. He's going to go ahead and switch over to the shotgun. Went down to the AR blast. Went ahead and fished it out. But here comes Wolverine's Claws. Now he's going to be able to break down some builds and cause a little bit of destruction. And Ploof, he's trying to get away, hearing Wolverine knocking on the front door. But now that silver board's going to be on a cooldown. The pepper effect is there. He's going to go ahead and crank the height. But it could be just a matter of moments before that height goes down. And yeah, the shockwaves go up. And here it comes, Clay. It's going to go right back down. Hey, but Wolverine's Claws has the ability to kind of regen as well. And that's what Sentry's going to go ahead and do. Disengage and regenerate.
And unfortunately, what goes up must come down, Sancho. H&G is going to fall as he runs away. Evasion is going to get the elimination there with Smite. And notice there is no one else in that build, so they were able to get that last elim there on the Puffed as well. Sentry has to just disengage, cannot go for a reboot, cannot go for a revive if he wanted to. And speaking of ambushes, Sentry tried to set it up, but unfortunately it's going to get set up on him, and he is just going to fall. Taffy and Koto just going to take him down.
And you're going to have to expect more of these ambush bush type plays, considering that there is a lower material cap. So, hey, they saved themselves some builds, and they got themselves that easy 5-point elim that basically fell right into their lap. And you're going to take a look here. There is basically, at this moment going forward, 25 places going now. Placement points will be doled out. So now every elim will be a little bit bonus on top of that with the placement point. And there it is. The first placement point has been rewarded to the whole field here. So that's going to be a strong opportunity to get these points very valuable. As we saw, the hot start from Janice and Reason basically led them to victory in the overall Marvel Super Cup in the EU region. I'm excited to see when we take a peek at their leaderboard, which will be after about a couple matches or so. We'll see, Clay, who's sitting on top.
We will. But what's interesting about this duo we're watching right now, I don't know if they have any superpowers in the inventory. Smite definitely doesn't. And oh, they don't even need it right now. Those beams came through. The 3-2-1 came through, and he tried to Bramble Shield away. His teammate was able to Silver Surfboard out, but he can't. The crash pad's coming through. You can't just disengage like that. You're going to get beamed again, and now we see Groot's Bramble Shield there. Smite may choose to pick it up, but he decides to completely ignore it.
Completely ignore it. The Silver Surfboard was able to Silver Surfer's board was able to close the gap, and you were seeing that is such a great utility to engage, but also to close out an engagement. You called it right there, Clay. The crash pad's coming out, trying to get away, and we all know when crash pads go out, the trajectory is going to be easily, beamed, so you gotta be careful when you do that. At the same time, those common disengages are no longer going to work because Smite 64 and Evasion were able to close the gap quickly with Silver Surfer's board.
And look, they're using it in tandem to rotate as well. Seems like they want to get a great position and maybe continue their aggression push all over the map. They've gone everywhere. They've eliminated a lot of different people. You see a Unibeam going off there in the background. Iron Man's coming to play. Mama Mace, unfortunately, going to be the one to get tagged up by it. If we see a double Unibeam, it's pretty much a guaranteed 180 damage onto one singular player. Now, Smite could use this board to be very aggressive and offensive, but they're just going to, again, rely on what they know. Use their ARs, try to get the piece control down, and see immediately those Silver Surfer boards coming out, and they have disengaged, and that is a perfect use of that Marvel superpower there.
And here it is, more examples of perfect uses of that aggression to close the gap, to apply that box pressure here. In Smite 64 Invasion, do have to be careful. There is some arrows looking this way, and a unit beam from across the map is probable. You could send it as far as the eye can see, and it is almost like a hit scan. That's going to bop you right in the way. There is opportunity to dodge it. You have to be careful. If you see that big red light coming your way, you better do your best to extend your box. But if this is your first time, if this is everyone's first time watching Marvel Super Cup in NA East, the way it works, it's going to be just like Arena. Wow, Mama Mace gets dunked on with the green pump by Smite 64. All 64 bits of graphics going right through the dome right then and there with a nice pump blast. But the point I wanted to make, Clay, is zones 1 through 4 will be centralized. Zones 5 will be that in and out zone, half in the storm, half in the safe zone. Zone 6, 7, 8 will be the rotating zones, and zone 9 will be a rotating zone as well, with the caveat that it comes to the ultimate close of that ultimate in-game experience. So that's the question, Clay, that Sundown and I have is, will these players who may have have a lot of Marvel Power experience, be able to put it together and combine it with their game sense for Battle Royale.
And it has everything that you would normally have in the Battle Royale arena mode. You've got shockwaves, you got crash pads, you got harpoon guns. We've seen those used. But these superpowers going to make it that much harder to get revives off and to get where you want to be in these games. You see the immediate usage of the board there to try to get in, and a Unibeam going to come through from the side. I think that's going to be both players eliminated. If not, one of them down very low. He's in the box. The Wolverine, does he have his claws? Does he have the ability? But Venom Smash and Grab is there. He is going to get the tag. He gets him down low, but no. Twice is not able to do it. A heroic play almost went his way.
Yeah, the smash and grab, Clay, I would not see it as an opportunity to be one of those things you use like up front like that. It is like a closer. You know, if you see someone with no shield, that's when you go for that grab. Because we talked about it when this item was first introduced as the smash and grab just misses for smite, is that sometimes you could pull in someone who's extremely dangerous, and if you don't have your partner next to you to kind of close that out with the pump shotgun or some kind of DPS, you're going to be in danger, and Smite 64 eats the unit beam right there for Fernaband.
And speaking of DPS, Unibeam comes through. Now, he does have the floppers and the shields to heal back up. His smash back is going to be on cooldown. I think it just came off cooldown, and he's looking to grab someone right now. You hear that audible cue that it comes out. You can also kind of see a glow on some of these players when they have it, but it's going to get a drop down. Ethan going to go down. Evasion will get the elimination. Smash and grab coming through the Silver Surfer board there, but not able to get any tags. They're just going to rely on their epic and legendary pumps. The shots will connect, and they will get the elimination. Is he going to keep Venom Smash and Grab? I think he is. He's completely dropped Iron Man's Unibeam for it.
I mean, we saw how valuable it is to stay hidden at the same time, because any attraction, the Unibeam just gives you like, hey, I'm right over here, and essentially you could get returned with the Unibeam, that return to sender type vibe. And I think what we saw in the EU region, they slowly figured out that Thor's hammer, that could be a big factor considering that it's still hidden, but especially smash and grab. You could essentially send it through your box to go into an opponent's box and grab yourself some prizes, and that is what's being used by Smite 64, just going in and smash and grabbing. And we all know once you get yoinked, that discombobulates you completely, and that's not going to allow you to kind of like recover from that yoinkage.
Yeah, and they just got everyone in this fight. I think they took down everyone except for Michael there, who went over to Nathan, but they are not stopping anytime soon. 10 eliminations. They are yoinking everyone. This is like they're playing a claw game at the mall, and they are the ones controlling the claw, just moving it all around, getting all the little prizes they can.
Yeah, and the grand prize is still up for grabs here. This is the early throws of that Marvel Super Cup NA East region. It's going to be hype going forward because, of course, the later in the broadcast, we will see some of the players literally jockeying for that first placement, going toe-to-toe, going box-to-box, going power-to-power. We're going to see who's going to be able to overcome all of that and be the true hero for the day. And that's what's so exciting. We already saw some big saves in the day and a lot of solo performances in Invasion. I think, yes, he did get a tag right there on Icon's ace. They're not going to go ahead and capitalize that, but as I mentioned, they're going to go in, and I would like to see them to slow down just a bit and get another tag, but no, they're going to say, no, Sancho, we got the smash and grab. We're not afraid here, Clay.
No, the Symbiote is not afraid of anyone, Sancho. They are going in. They don't care. They say, we want as many points as we can. This game, if they finish it out with a victory with no more eliminations, will be a 100+ game. Nice shot there, but Evasion not able to get it as Icon's rushing. Gonna take him down, but Smite got him low. Will he be able to get out? The cooldowns are not up for him, and he gets the spray through there. Will clutch up, but he doesn't have a teammate anymore.
Wow, Smite 64 with 8 elims, Evasion before getting fully confirmed, got 4 elims, so a decent start. 83 points, looking really strong. You mentioned that if they closed out the Victory Royale, that'd be a fantastic start. And we saw in EU region basically back-to-back solo clutches from a player losing their duo partner early on. But let's see if they're going to be able to now, yes, I was going to say, switch to that Unibeam, considering that that smash and grab is only at its full strength when you have a duo partner to capitalize on that yoink.
Yeah, I agree. You really need someone to follow up unless you're somehow able to smash and grab them one way, hop the other way behind a wall. It has to be a series of perfect circumstances, and unfortunately, we know Fortnite does not always have those. You always have to be able to adapt to the unpredictability of it. And I agree. dropping for that Unibeam to get that guaranteed 90 damage off, maybe 180 if you're able to hit 2 different players, which is definitely the right play. He still has Silver Surfer's board in his inventory for mobility, but overall, they're not in a bad spot. They aren't down that many mats. We may see them pull half in, half out zone. And if they do, they're set up really well. Their loot is probably one of the best we've seen in the lobby.
And absolutely 9 bouncers as well. So once you get up to height, as we're now getting into our half in and half out, does get half in and half out. I think the only person in that half in and half out zone. So hey, I think Smite 64 may want to stay pat here, because you can look at that big structure around Smite 64. That's not going to give anyone opportunities to kind of guess where he is exactly. So a unit beam coming through might not be the end, but Smite 64 is saying, hey, again, Sancho, I'm here ready to fight. I have this power. I'm doing well. I'm vibing. I'm here racking up elims. Let me do my thing, big doggy.
He wanted, he said, you know what? Hey, he doesn't have to play solo. I don't got to play too passive as a solo Sancho. I want to do my thing. I want to get these elims. I want to just keep getting
That's
points.
true.
And luckily, he's got another solo right by him. Bo is box up there. If he sees this box, guess what's going to come through?
Yeah, I guess what it is. Unibeam, now more people are coming through and going to the dead center of that half in and half out, making their way as close as possible. We're going to take a look at more rotations coming through. Reigning Steels, who we saw earlier in this match, doing really well. 7 elims, 68 points, just behind the kind of play that Smite 64 has been doing. But Reigning Steels at full force as a duos, and they look like they're going to have an opportunity to kind of build a structure here that is really strong to indicate that they're going to make a play for height. Now, the ability to have a height alongside with Silver Surfboard is you could essentially vault yourself over to another connecting piece, Clay. And we have been seeing that this surfboard is essentially used just like a launch pad can be. But Reigning Steels now raining down a lot of the players that are making the late rotations.
You put it perfectly. We may see one player stay on the back side of zone, one player is over surfer board all the way to the front, and then you just come together with that board and you maintain high ground. You can lose high ground, however. We haven't seen a lot of this, and I definitely would love to see if NA East can do it. But Unibeam upward. Unibeam to try to take out high ground. Iron Man's Unibeam is so strong. It can knock down so many builds, but no one has really found that out and really tried to take high ground that way. So maybe a little theater crafting here for NA East to see if they can do it. Rain looking to just beam players. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even care that this is in-game. He's just fragging out right now with his duo partner on height.
And having that Iron Man Unibeam is going to create a lot of pressure. It does not take a lot of pressure to suppress the players fighting for height. And the sound of Unibeam, Thor's hammer, all these Marvel powers can suppress any pushes towards height. And there you see that great use of their height that they have in their builds, now vaulting over to the other side, and that's just going to put them in front of the zone. And now they're going to have this cooldown, and when the rotation changes again, they're going to have that come back up again. But they just have to be careful. Avoid those unit beams, stay on your feet, and don't get shield cracked.
Yeah, and we don't really see that many Iron Man Unibeams being used right now. This team only has one, and it's on Steels. He does get some tags on the players, but he gets tagged up himself. Bo is still in this game. We've got Smite still in this game as well. Rain is going to get a nice tag here as the player's flying through the air. His partner, though, Steels took a lot of damage on rotation. Rain taking a lot of damage as well. Bo will pick up an elimination there. This is not good. They are playing high ground, but they are getting contested and sprayed at by everyone in the lobby. A lot of solos left. Smite still down there as well. Bo down there. Silver Surfer board on out. We saw Smite go through. Kodo is going to fall there to Rain. A lot of damage being thrown. A lot of tags. They can lose high ground. The board comes through. It may be in a bramble shield there from Groot as well, but they've lost high ground.
Yeah, that Unibeam just really put a Rain on Rain's parade for that moment, but they're still cooking. 101 points for their opening match, a really strong performance. It's a top 3 situation. There is a solo out there taking up a spot here. 4 players left total. Rain now is getting beamed, but look at it. Steels is going in with the Unibeam. His strong performance just misses the bouncer. Does get a little bit of gravity, a tweak of the ankle, but it didn't matter. Rain and Steels are looking gravy with a 115-point performance and the first victory Royale here in the NA East broadcast, Clay.
Yeah, that was a great way to start it off, but we got to give props to Smite as well, taking it all the way into that in-game as a solo. Got 3rd place there, but what a game for Rain and Steels. 12 elims and the Victory Royale. Man, that's one way to start.
All right, you want more? No problem. I got you, Zeke. We got more Marvel action here in the Marvel Super Cup for NA East. Game 1 was a banger. Let's see if Game 2 on the broadcast is going to be. We're seeing a lot of heroic plays, Clay, smash and grabs, unit beams, you name it, but we all want more of Wolverine's claws. You know what? Wolverine's one of the coolest dudes in the Marvel Universe.
He is just absolutely great character, well-rounded all around. But unfortunately, these players don't seem to think the same as us, Sancho. We may see some new players come in. We hear the harpoon coming through. Wolverine's claws are right there. Will they pick them up? Now, I've got a theory crafting moment for us, Sancho. All right, here we go.
Oh, wow. Clay,
Silver Surfer board.
We're in the lab.
Up into the air, right?
Yes.
You then use the harpoon to pull them up.
Okay.
When you land, then you Venom smash and grab them down. Boom. Instant elimination.
Wow, because of that acceleration and gravity coming in hot, we did see early in the social media Cypher PK with another cheeky play using the rift, kind of Venom grabbing someone through the rift, and it essentially just negates that rift safety net, and they drop that person all the way up from the Fortnite world. So yes, there is a little bit more creativity, but in the EU side of things, Clay, eventually the pros started just making their way up the leaderboard, as we did see out there the Built by Gamers has out in the distance.
We did. Again, we can't count out some of these players that are not as well known to us. They definitely have been grinding, and if they have any exposure with these Marvel superpowers as well, like we do, they will know how to combo them very effectively. I like the combo of Thor's Mjolnir Strike and Groot's Bramble Shield, because it's going to allow you to get in very quickly and get out very quickly. You can get a lot of damage with that Mjolnir Strike, like he did open up a big area. He even landed it on a gas can, so it causes fire damage all around. Zovin just now trying to get in, could use the Bramble Shield to break all these builds. It does do AoE damage to builds. He can get in. It'll protect him while he's there. Then when he hops out, boom, big pump to the face. There's an elimination.
And that's what's really cool to see pros kind of experiment, kind of go into this free flow action here. And hey, unit beam, there it is. You know, you try to get unit beam, you are stuck in that animation. And that rapid use of the rapid SMG was kind of just closing out that door and that opportunity for unit beam. And now Nate, without his partner, is going to have to go solo the rest of the way. And no doubt we've already been seeing, Clay, people camping or chilling out by the reboot card. So I don't think Lawrence and his duo mate's going to let this one go.
I don't think so either. One Uni Beam, one Iron Man Uni Beam, one Thor's Mjolnir Strike, and Nate is going to go down. We are all the way over near the ruins at one of the Quinjets here. We see Silver Surfer's board, Iron Man's Uni Beam. Don't know what Sleepy Sensei has in their inventory, what they're using to try to get through. But if we talk about terms of overall loot in terms of the normal Fortnite Battle Royale scene, not that great. A common AR and an uncommon pump shotgun. So they do need to find some upgrades there. Not Diego gonna go down. Elimination will come through. GA and Sensei able to get 2 eliminations. And I think we just saw She-Hulk assist for the first time today. And we'll have to see exactly how they end up using it, because again, they are so good at stunning and getting a lot of melee damage off. If you can get that stun right as your partner hits that Iron Man Uni Beam, it would be such a great combo.
It'd be such a great highlight moment as well, just to see She-Hulk is one of the most underrated Marvel powers in the Marvel Knockout LTMs. In that Wild Wednesday tournament they had as well, it's one of those ones that you just have this unbelievable mobility, and at the same time catching people right in your one box grid, so to speak, with it, especially with that double fist hammer down move she does at the very end of her combo. That is going to be something that I definitely want to see. But now you're seeing Unibeam essentially being used as a sniper. And hey, if it's on a cooldown, right, and you're sitting there and you've been holding onto it and you still don't use it, it's just like any other game that involves cooldown management. Just keep popping it off, because you're going to be able to maximize your DPS, the damage per second that you have overall in the game.
And that's exactly what we mean when we talk about min-maxing. That's exactly a great description of it. Whether or not you're using your cooldowns on cooldown or in the most opportune time. Because right now in the early game, you can essentially just use them on cooldown. You don't really have to worry. especially if it's an offensive one. A defensive one you want to hold for that moment where you need to get out of this engagement. But we've talked about ambushes. They have been the name of the game so far. And look at this. They are set up in the ruins. They've got their shotguns out. They also have the potential for the uni beam onto these players down below. If they're able to catch this team off guard, if they're able to get even just a little bit of damage, you know Iron Man's uni beam is going to come through and just try to solidify that elimination.
Here we are trying to solidify eliminations and their placement. Oh no! They gotta get pushed out of the box, and then the prediction, the read right there with the unit beam, knowing that they're gonna move to the box right over, and FN and Sensei get a nice elimination right there, and I like that, Clay. It's kind of like a fighting game a little bit. You know, you cause a reaction and you cause them to go into your trap, so to speak, right there, and with a godlike unit beam prediction.
It was perfect. He knew he was coming out of that porta potty. There's only one way to leave where you just came, and it's right back through that porta potty. Perfect usage of it. His teammate there to follow up as well. God now trying to use the Silver Surfer board to get this. The Unibeam will come through. Iron Man's Unibeam is going to hit, but his teammate going to go down to Unibeam in turn. So trade there on Iron Man's Unibeam, but can he follow up and get it? And FN can. Going to be able to save his teammate more than likely. Unfortunately, no. Will get fully eliminated, so now has to try for a reboot, which with all of these Marvel superpowers is extremely risky.
Extremely risky indeed, and we've already been seeing reboot vans, and we kind of already talked about it in different competitive scenes. The reboot van is the dinner bell that just signifies to everybody that there's one person that's been brought back from that lobby, I guess, zone, so to speak, and all of a sudden they get put right back into the fight, but they're limited in what they have. They only have a pistol in their inventory, especially combined with the Marvel powers. You have the Silver Surfer board to close it out. You have all this mobility to close it out. Even Group's Bramble Shield can be that opportunity. So FN has a lot to work with without his partner here, and maybe get the reboot, as I think they're going to Salty Springs on that one. But here it is, some engagements happening in the storm line of the storm in Steamy Stacks, and Nico and Marsh are looking strong in this match with 4 elims.
Yeah, taking out Jordan and Drew, a pretty known name here in NA East if you're keeping up with the scene. Able to do it very quickly. We saw that disengage tried to come through with Silver Surfer's board from Drew, and Nico followed up to get the match with it, but I don't know if that's the right time to use that board, put it on cooldown, because zone is coming in. They are luckily close enough, and they will be able to catch on up. But again, it's all about maximizing your potential for success with these abilities. And look, ooh, Sancho, I am happy. We've got Venom Smash and Grab in the distance, and on IQ, we've got Storm's Whirlwind Blast.
Let's see how Storm's Whirlwind Blasters get to use. We saw as well early content creators understand its power by going up into the sky in a build off. You could kind of pop someone and send them down into some fall damage, but IQ gonna say, hey, wait a minute, there is Venom Smash and Grab. Venom Smash and Grab, if you see someone in one box, you kind of pull them through. So IQ and Koopa looking for an opportunity to do that here outside this little junkyard landmark. Frizzy, and looks like Sir Curb here, he's going to be in danger. He's making his way, and the ambush is now set up. It's just a matter of moments before IQ and Koopa convert this into a 5-point elim.
Yeah, and they're going to choose to just use their ARs there. He's close enough that they can follow up this player trying to She-Hulk this away, but unfortunately I think the jump cooldown was just a little bit too much, approximately 20 seconds there, and unfortunately not maximizing their opportunity. IQ gonna get it. Didn't even need to use a harpoon. Didn't even need to use a Venom Smash and Grab to get that. We'll just get the elimination, old-fashioned Battle Royale style.
Old-fashioned. I cannot wait to see and take a peek at the leaderboard. Like Clay said, this is old-fashioned Fortnite Battle Royale when it comes to Arena, but there is just this special layer. I would say like this frosting on top of this cake that we're always talking about here, and that frosting is Marvel. There is nothing better than when it's your birthday, and you get that Marvel birthday cake. You see your favorite Marvel hero standing tall on top of it. It's like an action figure. You're like, yo, this is amazing. I'm going to have a great birthday. And right here today, it feels like my birthday, Clay. I'm having a great time calling all the action alongside side, my friends, Sundown and yourself, and let us go. Let's get to it. We're getting closer to at least a third, like a half, 1/3 mark of the series, and I'm excited to see who's going to be on the board when we take a peek at that leaderboard again.
I'm excited as well. It's been a great day watching you Sundown Cast. I wanted to get this opportunity with you, and now I'm happy to be able to do it. They are going to be able to get the elimination as we hopped on board here with Evan. Oh! He's got the Unibeam right in his face. Will he get the elim, though? I don't think he does. No. Falls on top of him. The piece control was there, and that was so risky to Iron Man's Unibeam right in the face of his competitor.
You got to risk it for the biscuit, and that's very scary to deal with. You're right. The risk was there. All that competitor had to do was just turn around and get a headshot because you're locked into that state. And Evan from Vent City was able to utilize the Unibeam up close. It's like, yay, you got far damage and you have near damage. And right there, that near damage went through. And there's an example of it from afar as Kailoa gets it right in the face from Vine Ree. And Coder are now going to go ahead and close out the distance and collect their spoils. But they're not done yet because they have someone on the back foot here running away from this push.
And there's another fight happening in Retoro as well, which we saw another Iron Man's Unibeam being used. So we see these powers going off all over the maps, just dropping everywhere. They're available floor loot. And the Tony Stark drones that are spawning the Quinjet, you can get them out of chests. You can get them out of supply drops. You can get them everywhere, Sancho. So, of course, we're going to see as much opportunities as we can to use these. But for players like Stitch, they're only choosing to carry one.
Hey, but at the same time, our other competitors, let's put this in perspective. They didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this tournament. Everyone was wondering, what is the Marvel Super Cup? It's going to be the Marvel Knockout LTM. That was the assumption, considering that so many cups were held before, like the Black Widow, the Ghost Rider, the Daredevil, and the Venom Cup. And the Wild Wednesday, where it's like, oh, it's just going to be a Marvel LTM. But no, not so fast. All of a sudden, we get introduced to the Marvel powers being in the Fortnite island, in that Battle Royale setting. That is the excitement. And I'm just hoping, I don't know, man, maybe later on when I hop on that Fortnite, they're going to have this mode because I kind of want to play it. It looks really fun to play.
It does indeed. I was telling, Zeke earlier, I wouldn't have carried a weapon or heals. I would have gone all out. 5 Marvel superpowers in the inventory. Would have been Silver Surfer's board. Would have been Venom Smash and Grab. Would have been Iron Man's Unibeam. Would have been Storm's Whirlwind Blast.
Okay.
And then top it off with Thor's Mjolnir Strike. I would have been rolling with all of the superpowers. Would not have even picked up a weapon.
Oh my goodness, man. That's all about the content. But right now, Big Noah and Trishman are trying to get up the leaderboard with 42 points, 4 elims. A decent start to this match as well. They got the nice use of Groot's Bramble Shield, just absorbing some of that. And kind of like the rollers of lore, that is a great use of having that rotation, not taking any kind of HP damage. And that's going to save that mini Clay. And that's what I'm talking about. Those little moments are going to have a big effect going into the end game. And what's going to have a big effect as well is these mountains. I know maybe people out there on social media are like, all right, enough of these mountains. But these mountains are a huge factor. And everybody that's played Fortnite competitively know that to take them seriously and navigate the rotations, considering that mountain is going to eat up a lot of materials, especially with the lower mat cap.
And look, Nico and Marsh already on very low HP. They got Unibeamed and have to rotate out. Unfortunately, moved a little earlier than I would have liked, because now they don't have Silver Surfer's board to reactively get out if they do end up getting double Unibeamed again. If it comes through and it does that damage, they are well below 90 effective HP, and they will just be eliminated, gone. They do have a split second to react if that cooldown comes up. And look, I think they're going to look to set up a double Iron Man's Unibeam, Sancho. I think they are ready. I think they're here. They've got the edit.
Oh, no. I don't want to see this, man. A Unibeam against this neighboring duo sitting so close. That's just going to give a big time signal for the rest of the lobby to go like, okay, let's time to send beams this way. So they have to be careful here, man. That's what we saw on the EU side of things. If you missed out on the earlier type of the broadcast, is that anytime you use Unibeam, that just lets everybody know that there's someone out there that's on a cooldown that cannot return the Unibeam fire. So especially with Nico and Marsh, one Unibeam and that is a wrap.
It is, and I think they're going to go for it. It could get both of these players on the other side down to 20 effective HP if they are able to hit both of them. And look, they're lined up perfectly. Of course, they don't see what we see. They don't know exactly what we know, but they're looking for it. Unibeam going to come through. He's going to hit. He will hit one, and they're going in. They don't want to stop. They don't have the opportunity to. And unfortunately, Mars is going to go down. Nico will get down and get Azuki 200 pumps. The 200 pump wasn't there, and now effectively is above Unibeam health. He can withstand one Iron Man's beam that comes through. He can get that group Bramble Shield as well to heal back up, and I desperately think that he needs to get it. He is looking for it right now. Accidentally picks up another Silver Surfer Surfboard, but the spray is too much. Will Iron Man's Unibeam finish him off? Does anybody in the lobby nearby have it? He actually has to try to put the pressure back. If he could find that Bramble Shield after hitting a Unibeam onto these players down below, he could rotate back up this mountain because, again, you mentioned it has traction. It can climb these mountains for these players.
Oh, man, that would be a hot play to see. And, of course, the Bramble Shield from Groot is going to allow you to regain some of that HP. The duos making the rotation in as we're getting a nice fly in to see what's going down. This panoramic shot to seeing the rest of the lobby as they're kind of Billy going up this mountain right here. Trismon and the big Noah. We got Tico and Kippets out here in this match. And it's all going to come down to the victory royales, and we're going to see like who's going to be able to kind of. It's so tempting though, Clay, when you have these moral powers just to be super aggressive, but you still have to maintain those 10 matches. You could rope in some of those W key games, as the community likes to call them, which is another way of just saying going all in and going after every type of person to maximize their elims in that game. But at the same time, you know, utilizing these placement points, that's going to be the thing that kind of gets you up the board, because when you match the two together, that's what we saw those major pop-off games in EG region being a big factor.
It will, and we see this team that had a good start, 4 eliminations, they got their 58 points. They're going to need more. We saw that pace in Europe after the first game be 100+ points. If you're able to get that, you put yourself in a really good spot. And look, I like how this duo, Lawrence and Zoan, are actually staggering their cooldowns. Unibeam's cooldown is about 35 seconds. Thor's Mjolnir Strike is about 25. So first, Zov goes in with Thor's Mjolnir Strike and then follows up with the pressure. And then Lawrence can follow up with Iron Man's Unibeam if it's up off cooldown, which it should be by then. Ice gonna get taken down. It was a little bit too hot there for him.
And Ice being eliminated so quickly. And that's what I liked about the staggering of the Marvel powers. You nailed it right then and there, Clay. If a duo team could kind of figure that out early, you're going to have some great success. And some great success is in the cards for that Lawrence duo, considering that they have pulled zone here and they can kind of just keep everybody out of it by just staggering the Marvel powers. Now the rest of the lobby is going to have to make this decision. When do we rotate? If we go too early, we make it Unibeam out of the sky. If we go too late, we make it definitely Unibeam by AR beam. So it's an interesting thing, and that's the question that Venery and Coder have to answer, and they decide to go right now, and this may be that perfect timing. So far, free, no tags going their way.
Yeah, a relatively perfect rotation. Nobody even saw them. They even got the chance to hit one of Iron Man's Unibeam shots onto these players if they want to. If they can find someone rotating out, it can hit players out of the air. So they want to get really, really creative with the double Unibeam on the players up above, but they're going to find you spry. Doesn't even matter. Does not need that Iron Man's Unibeam as we see Galea going down there in the feed.
And there it is. They have a great opportunity to catch anyone that's making late rotations. They have this natural height as well, so they're going to send beams, send unit beams down the way. And that beam that we're talking about is what here at the Fortnite community is AR spray. And that accuracy, especially from this purple assault rifle, is going to lead to a lot of headshot multiplier damage. And all these players down below, they're just going to have a bad time. They're going to be funneled right into this power from Venery and Coder. It's just a matter of racking up elims, and here comes that Unibeam. This would be a perfect opportunity to lay one strike, but no, they do it the old school way with AR blames.
Yeah, had perfect communication as well. They were able to get both the eliminations there on Venery. He's got 6 eliminations so far, stealing all of them away from his teammate. Didn't let him get a single one. Wanted it all for himself. But if they're able to get to this end game, now that we're in it, now what can they do? They've got Silver Surface board. They got Iron Man's Unibeam. Can they take high ground with it? Can they maintain high ground with it? Right now on high ground is SWX and Davor, as they've got a really good spot. Zone is going to pull off of the side of this catty corner mountain. We know mountains have a big factor here in Fortnite. Everybody knows that. They can roll down it. They can Silver Surfer board off of it. And you see Groot's Bramble Shield being used just to absolutely rotate through. But this is perfect. As they're setting up for those Silver Surfer boards, unfortunately, they're going to be boarding right into these players that are looking for the beams.
At the same time, my concern is this duo that we're watching has 0 elims, and they are very limited in ammo, so they could get a lot of tags going forward, but they may not have enough to kind of get the ultimate knock or elim. So that is what's happening with SWX and Davor. They don't have any kind of Marvel power, at least in SWX's kit, so they're going to have to rely on their hits, and Davor goes down, so SWX is going to have to rely on his wits and his build mechanics here just to survive a little bit longer. Luckily, he does have Groot's Bramble Shield as the lobby's now moving off the mountain and down towards the lake area. And you hear it, Clay, Unibeam going off. There's 9 placements available. A lot of solo players still up. As you can see, they outnumber the amount of that duo probability.
They do, and the good thing for SWX is he's got a lot of impulses there in his inventory. He can continue to impulse. He can continue to move without having to use Groot's Bramble Shield, and that's what he's going to do right now. Breaking down high ground. He could go for it. Eliminations coming through. Sakefishy going to take down Stitch. More and more elims, more and more placements coming through. SWX is surviving when he definitely shouldn't be. Vittery, Coder, they're going to go down. They are going to lose the high ground. SWX is playing that low ground. They got C-Plit there on the back. Could turn around, get that elimination, but it will get stolen away. Shockwave going to come through. Does he get a nice tag up above? We weren't able to see that, but I'm sure he did. Shieldfish is going to be popped. Again, can use this Groot Bramble Shield at this moment to break through all these builds to just kind of survive, but just a little bit longer. Got a player dropping down below. No builds really remaining. Can he get the Siphon? He's only going to get 6 builds from it. It's not that much. Uses one last build. He's got 1 more remaining. You see him going for it there. A 2v1 or 2v1v1 as high ground has holding it. Tico gonna try to Unibeam him out. He hits the Iron Man. Unibeam res is gonna go down. Sakefishy gonna get the elimination. SWX is up. It's a 1v1. He's still got Groot Bramble Shield there. Shots go through. He doesn't have a lot of builds. Trying to Shockwave out. He does. Gets in a high ground. Does he Shockwave the player out? Could pop the Shieldfish, and he does. Shots up. Ooh. Nice connection there on the 100, and he does end up getting the elimination there in the back end to pick up the victory royale.
SWX with the most important elim that matters. The ending one for the victory royale, getting 3 elims total for the duo mate, catching that silver surfboard out of the air, turning around with a 100 tag with that rare pump shotgun. But hey, what a great start for the day for the Marvel Super Cup for the NA East region. Hey, my favorite part's coming up. Zeke, forget to take.
But here we go. We've got Demonata and Macwood, 169 points. But right behind them, take a look. It's still pretty close right now.
Oh my goodness, we were talking about Marvel powers, Marvel superheroes, but it is the demon on top of Kanata and Macwood, and we're seeing some of that familiar names out here. Of course, we got Commandment, and I believe that is that Stretch, right? Liquid Stromanado, I believe. Yes, that is Stretch right there. And of course, rounding our top 5 is Jamper and AV, and some new names, Swerk and Goaty, making an appearance here. Of course, Zum and Stacky sitting in second place. There are no strangers here in the scene, but this is really awesome that, hey, Macwood and Kanata have won like the past 3 tournaments. It seems like they're leading up here, Clay. That's really hot.
Yeah, we go into the next page and we see Sizzlucky and Nanolite there. Another big set of duo from the NA East region. We all know them. They've been around for a while. Fatch and Nick as well. They've been here. Fatch has been playing all the way since World Cup qualifiers days. So good to see him in the top 10.
Yeah, we're going to go through more pages to show you what's going down in the leaderboard. Let's see if we recognize anybody else. You got Aspect and Zuni's here. Of course, Who Fishy and Jayeth, though. I just like this, and we're seeing a great Outcast duo on top with Frat and Snake, but look at the elims. Not that many strong elim performances, so a lot of, playing for placement here. Not a lot of victory royales on this page here, Clay.
No, not as many, but there's still a lot of time to go. They've got almost 2 more hours left in the queues. This is going to change up. And again, we got to go to the next page just to see if we have any more big names up there to give that recognition out and see if they're holding on. Again, that top 10 is that upper placement. We're actually going to come back. But again, that top 10, Sancho, is looking like an NA East normal leaderboard. Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh, and look at that. 16th place, Sancho. We got to mention them. Acorn and Jock. what a scary duo to be near the top.
And they got a victory royale too in the back pocket, ready to roll. And that is one of those old school duos that, hey, they have that experience, they know the rotations, they have the game sense. The question is, can they figure out the Marvel superpowers? And the more time they have, Clay, the more they have the ability to easily vault up. We already saw in the EU region all these professional players able to turn it up and get to the top of the board. Let's take a look at this next page here as we see Miro and Avery, the FNCS trio NA East champion. Miro and Avery have been doing really well together in other duo competitions, Clay.
Yeah, it's really good to see Miro up there performing. Where's for first for his day? I'm sure they're up there as well, but always good to see new names in there as well. PD Plague and Red Ducks, some newer faces up in that top 25. And that's what the best thing is about Fortnite and the Marvel Super Cup.
Marvel Super Cup, and already, hey, we've already gone through the trailers, right? We've already got our popcorn, we got our hot dogs, we got ourselves our soft drinks, whatever you want to have, whatever you want to call it, cola pop. We're here ready to roll here and ready to get into more of the action, Clay. Let's go. Let's get it, like my boy Bobby Fino would say. Yeah.
Let's get it indeed. And these players are not stopping anytime soon. They are just as hype as we are on board now. Misty Meadows, we've got Isiv and Seam here. This is one of the first time we get to see Iron Man's repulsors being used, but Iron Man, Judy Beam, we are no stranger to it here on broadcast, and I assume everyone in the game is not a stranger to it by now, but Isiv not actually able to hit that shot.
At the same time, you know, it's one of those ones that a lot of players were kind of drawn attracted to. Like Ninja mentioned in the interview, he said, oh, by far my favorite Marvel power is Unibeam. It just simply causes so much destruction, and at the same time it goes through those builds, and looking in the distance you see NRG's edgy. So some of the names of the NA East make an appearance, just like Outcast ICV make an appearance as well with this duo mate Seam 9966 and Misty Meadows. You all know there's a lot of opportunities for third parties. You shoot AR beam, I come back with Big Daddy Unibeam.
And his teammates, Seam is following up with that Groot's Bramble Shield right away, is getting in, wants to get the elimination, but unfortunately the disengage there from the opponent will get them out. In the meantime, we did see that Edgy does end up going down, and Seam will capitalize on that elimination, was able to actually pick it up. So 3 elims coming off the spawn game for them is really, really good. Starts their ball rolling and starts them to get back on place to getting into that top 10.
I like what you did there, ball rolling. I get it. You know, Bramble Shield goes into a rolling action. I feel that. I feel it. But now the pressure is being felt by, it looks like Peely's opponent here. And in action here, bowling down at Craigie Cliffs. The first time we see Black Panther's kinetic armor. That's going to have the ability to absorb any kind of damage and then irradiate with a big blast. So that's going to be an opportunity. If Pelly kind of wants it, he could kind of just make his way and spearhead right into it, and it can cause fall damage. So if someone builds right above them, the knockback plus fall damage, we already saw the knockback with that Storm's Whirlwind Blast. Can Pelly use Black Panther's kinetic armor to great use? Time will tell.
We will have to see. We also saw Nate Hill in the elimination feed getting an elim. So, hey, you know, it was both of our picks. I kind of stole it there from you at the top of the show, but we got to see how they're doing eventually. Maybe they're able to make it to the end game. We know Nate Hill is no stranger to these superpowers. He has been playing those Marvel Knockout Cups so well, and Pelly just doesn't even need Black Panther's kinetic armor. He got the one pump shot there, and he gets another one as well. Because you know what, Marvel Super Cup, I still got a shotgun. That's really all I need right now.
Yeah, you know, I do like a Black Panther's kinetic armor. It's something great use to, if someone has Unibeam, you could essentially pop it and negate that max damage it does of that 90 HP. Sometimes it cuts it down in half, and that's going to be the factor, man. That's one big pot, and you're right back into the fray. You did mention Nate Hill. Look, you pick Nate Hill, bro. I pick I am Groot to be able to win it all, okay? That is the one I'm going with, as Lax is going to find some floppers swimming on by, and hey, we already discovered that Group's Bramble Shield is not going to be able to work in the water. For sometimes that, hey, that doesn't work out. Maybe he forgot to put some lacquer on that bad boy to be able to I'm sorry, the dad mode's coming out of me, to be able to withstand and stop the soakage of that water damage.
Bad mode indeed, but can the kid get the elimination here in the game? Can they come out victorious? Cartel Buzz and Cash, they've got to get out of this defensive position. They are sitting here, they are waiting for it, and they want, it seems like, to hit with the double Iron Man Unibeam. You hear that power coming out. You can hear it's a very close and loud audible cue. You can see the glow as well. Seems like they got the edit. They want to use that harpoon, but it's going to be 2 shots to get in on a fully built brick wall. Doesn't even matter. Superpowers could be used. If they had Wolverine's Claws or Shield Assist, this would not be a box you want to hop in. And Lax is unfortunately going to lose his teammate there. Send going down. Cash able to get that elimination. They will be able to go back and finish off this one and confirm it. Cash will now fall. But Lax is in an awkward spot, Sancho.
Yeah, very awkward spot, and I'm in an awkward spot as well. It's water sealant, not lacquered, okay? Water sealant is the big factor you want to do to make your fence waterproof. I digress. Buzz right now is going to try to find an opportunity to maybe slow down this res. It doesn't happen now. Buzz got in a little too late, and Cartel Buzz goes down, and Sin and Lax survive that engagement. Those are the kind of moments that you were the ones that kind of opened up that fight. You better be the ones that close it, because then you kind of sit back and you're in the lobby and you're kind of like, man, we should have not gone after that. We've seen it time and time again. We saw Omega and Lucia face that same kind of decision. Should we or shouldn't we go after this Elim? And when you do, hey, Clay, you have to finish, because we've all been there before where you make that mistake, and before you know it, pointing fingers at each other. But I kind of get into a sense of this overall Marvel Super Cup. It kind of has this, kind of like a Super Bowl, like all-star game type vibe, where it's just all about maximizing your fun, so you could essentially walk away with some good prize money if you could just utilize the Marvel powers and combine them with your Fortnite skill.
And we all know they have this Fortnite skill, and we all know if they played in that Marvel Knockout, they have that skill as well. But Fortnite players are very, very adaptable. We've seen it time and time and again through a lot of different iterations of Fortnite competitive. Things have been thrown at players, and they've always been able to adapt. And now they have been thrown into the gauntlet of the Marvel Super Cup, where every power has been unleashed on the island. Now, I don't like what this team is doing, because they're just running through the bushes, right? I know they want to use that Unibeam offensively, and luckily enough for them, they saw this team rotate before. But if there's a team rotating through there and you lose sight of them, you can hit that bush with Iron Man Unibeam. It'll completely disintegrate the bush. It is a much easier way to rotate through bushes and safer way. But they're just confident they're going to get the Elim.
It's like a sniper Unibeam blast coming in hot. Exotic. That is what I liked right there. We haven't seen a Unibeam and then immediately going in for the aggressive box-to-box fight, and that is why you're kind of leaning on the instinct that these Fortnite players have, is those box-to-fight mechanics. Everyone knows about that, but if you could just lean a little bit more on the Marvel superpowers, let them do a lot of that damage, and before you know it, that player is easily going to be a one pump or one burst shot from a rifle hit, and that's going to set you up for great success. So don't be afraid to use Unibeam, and just sit and wait for that 35 seconds to pass to come back again with another 90 HP tag.
And this may be one of our most stacked lobbies that we've seen on broadcast today, Sancho. 72 players alive in second zone, may be able to even see Storm Surge on half in, half out. This may be a stacker if everyone continues just to rotate effectively. NAEs may have watched the European broadcast, maybe have watched the games there of Savage playing, Frey playing, and may have picked up some notes.
And to make a note, if this is your first time watching Fortnite competitive, is that Storm Surge is essentially to penalize players who are playing too passive. All of a sudden, the Storm is activated, tags down 25 HP hits. And so it's going to come in through various stages of the match. We will call that out if it becomes a factor, but that is something to note going forward, considering that this lobby size seems to be very, very healthy. And now, as well as you're seeing the safe zone being a little bit south of the Stark Industry, so that's going to be interesting to see where does this in-game end up. A more centralized zone, meaning there's not going to be a pure congested zone. Once it sits down center, hey, I've been seeing a lot of these rotations coming in very aggressively, and I think one of the notes that you mentioned that they picked up from the EU region, from Janice and Reason, is to kind of patrol these outskirts to find these teams who are trying to hide and get their placement points.
Ooh, and I think they were able to get that knock. They are. It's your easy kid. Unfortunately, gonna fall. Exotic was able to tag him up there with Iron Man Unibeam. they will get the confirm on that elimination. And now they're just going down to grab any extra loot that they can, upgrading pump shotguns as well. Now even more damage in their arsenal.
Hey, I might say a hot take right here, but unit beam, you still have to hit with it. It is not a guaranteed hit. It is something that you're going to have to use tracking, and at like the same time, especially when you're going shooting through builds, that is something that you definitely, there is a skill to work behind it. We've all been seeing the Marvel knockout LTMs. I've experienced as well. You could miss, Clay, and that miss is going to be a huge factor because then 35 seconds on that cooldown. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot of teams patrol these outskirts, storm, looking for those scavenger duos who are not landing in major POIs, because they could tag someone out in the open with a nice like tracking shot, opening up the engagement with a 90 HP tag, and they then go right in with their box fighting skills. And considering this is from an open lobby set going down to the top 1,000, you're going to find a variety of skill out there in the lobby still.
That is definitely a hot take indeed, Sancho. We'll have to see how it plays out. Spicy hot, you know. We like to keep it rolling here. Discord Seam, however, only one superpower in their inventory, but it doesn't even matter. He's got a sniper, and it seems like he's giving Thomas HD a run for his money. They're hitting that headshot quick and easy.
Whoa, slow down there. Whoa. You're talking about one of the most prolific snipers in the Fortnite world right then and there. Thomas HD was able to be on one of the last pages in the EU region, making an appearance at the very, very end of the day. So we'll take a look at who else is going to be on the pages of the leaderboard as we like to see. And now there's going to be some nice opportunity. Exotic having a great game, 5E limbs, but looks like his teammate Bulb is going to have some issues now being back in the left in the storm line. So now it's going to be Exotic, and look at that kit looking golden. You got that legendary pump, the legendary Stark energy rifle alongside with Unibeam from a distance. Yes, sir, the connection is clear. And now Exotic is going to go all in. This is what I'm talking about. Opening the engagements and now letting your Fortnite skill take over. Bop! Oh, he just misses, Clay. It was there, but he gets an 88 tag.
That was a highlight reel play. If I've seen one, it was so close to being able to put on all of the social medias, but he was able to finish it off, finally got the pump shot that he wanted, and he got both eliminations, and now we'll continue to just move on about their day as if nothing happened. For reference, Bulb, I definitely think needs to pick up Groot's Bramble Shield because he is looking very, very weak.
Yeah, this shambles could kind of be avoided if you put on that Bramble Shield, but it's generally surviving by the skin of that HP as Jaden's getting knocked down from Boldy's here. So we're seeing a lot of nice pre-fires, some nice box mechanics fighting, still being a big factor here in the Marvel Super Cup, and that's going to be one of these fights that's over one of those henchman chests, and this fight's not yet over here, Clay. And when you're fighting in the basement, as you can see, there's not going to be any kind of Unibeam or any third-party opportunity. It's very claustrophobic. It's very intimate, and looks like NYX and Bowdies were able to survive that. I like the Bowdies. Dab.
Yeah, he's giving a shout out there to Gandhi and Sprite. You know, they came up with that by putting their name, and now we finally get to see Nate Hill and Wykel. 105 points. They do have 4 eliminations right now and placement points as well. Still a lot of players in this lobby. 54 now down to 53 as Icy is taking down Brady Fan. I like the combination that Wykel has here. A lot of movement, can close a lot of distance with Groot's Bramble Shield and Silver Surfer's board. Nate Hill, however, is not in a good spot. That's why Wykel is stressing this movement and getting up as soon as he can, because Nate Hill was by himself. The beam comes through as well, and it's not from Iron Man. It's from Wykel's shotgun there, as well as his AR. He's just getting all the shots that he needs to. The wall is there. Piece control, can he find it? But Nate Hill is not there with him. He is putting down the spray from the side. But what can Wykel do? He doesn't have that Unibeam to really open up the site and open up these boxes. He could get in with Groot's Bramble Shield, but he would be a one-way ticket to Elimination Town.
And sometimes that ticket is enough to put the yips in your play as Wykel decides to go ahead and play for that height advantage. Oh my God. Guha gets bopped right then and there with those beams, and Wykel showing how positioning is such a huge factor. But yeah, a good unit beam would have been able to kind of send that in that engagement closely. As you see, there's already a lot of people already set up. But I like this kind of spread that Nate Hill and Wykel have. Nate Hill could essentially get get inside the zone, maybe unibeam whoever's gatekeeping, and then build and get ready for Yaikel to kind of set up with them to come back. So Nate Hill and Yaikel being very comfortable being separated here as they're going to go ahead and push into the safe zone that's right over the remnants here of the Sentinel graveyard.
And this is a very awkward spot to fight in because you can't build through these. You can build on top of them, but you can't move them. There's no breaking them. They are permanent structures here on the Fortnite Battle Royale map. As we see Nate Hill looking for a sniper shot. Would have been one to put on the socials if he did, but we see Iron Man Unibeam going off in the distance. Nate Hill doesn't even have Iron Man Unibeam, and this is saying something. If someone that has done so well in the Marvel Knockout LTM, has done so well even at the GlitchCon stage, is not picking up Iron Man Unibeam, what does he know that we don't?
I think what he knows is that a sniper shot is going to be available if he catches someone with an open edit and a unibeam. And of course, with the legendary AR, the beams are there as well from Nate Hill. But I will mention with Sundown in the EU region is who's going to understand that the sniper is going to be a strong factor to counter a unibeam, because they're going to be exactly still. They're going to be susceptible to a headshot. And yes, that's not a very powerful sniper shot, but at the same time, Nate Hill's accuracy could still put down some major damage on a team like Outcast ICV trying to capitalize on those unibeams.
100%. If Nate Hill's able to trade a headshot for a 90 damage tag, that is effectively a great trade for him, and it's a net positive there. ICIV, though, here trying to use that AR to his advantage. That Stark Industries energy rifle is so good at spraying very calculated shots through the air. And if you've got Silver Surfer's board or Roots Bramble Shield, you are going to get tagged up. Again, the Bramble Shield only blocks a little bit of damage, and then it busts, and then you've got this leap animation that is very easy to track. But ICIV has got this unibeam out. Iron Man's beam, unfortunately, not going to be able to hit there. And this is the second time we've seen ICV get a miss there.
And here it is. We're getting into that fifth zone, the half in and half out. We are having some safe zones around Gorgeous Gorge. As you can see, it's in the distance. It's here. This kind of reminds me of the EU regions. We had a lot of in-games in the FNCS trio in the Sentinel Graveyard. Let's see who from NA East here in the Marvel Super Cup is going to be able to walk out on top. We have Demar and Hero with a strong position. But I always feel like positions are going to be underutilized, and a lot of people are not going to really think about them because we added another layer here, Clay. That cooldown management, I see it all the way across as people are making mistakes. I see builds that are not fully boxed in. I see edits are left open. So let's see who's going to be able to utilize and maintain that their overall fundamentals stay intact. And right there, ICV shows you the danger of using unibeam in your own box. You could break your own builds. Oh my goodness, the slide comes through.
The danger of leaving your edits open to go for shots after the unibeam, Sancho, is that you said it. Who is going to wonder about, who's going to find out that the sniper is such a good counter to a lot of these Marvel superpowers? And Deemer and Hero up above are finding that out right now. Unfortunately for them, there will be a revive that comes through, but they don't have She-Hulk hands. They don't have Wolverine claws. They don't have Groot's Bramble Shield. They cannot heal up their green HP.
And they're going to go ahead and decide to go down to the lower side of his elevation to make this max pull rotation. There's still game sense for Fortnite Battle Royale, especially in the competitive side, that you have to implement. These are moving zones. It's not going to be your public lobby where it goes centralized. Zones 5 is that half in and half out. 6, 7, 8, and 9 are rotation zones here. So seeing 9966 and ICV are on the back side of this, and they're slowly going to walk in and be one of the ones to be late to the safe zone party. Hey, if you're late to the safe zone party, you better watch out because someone's going to kick you out of that party very quickly. Unibeam goes out. Here comes the rotation.
I was so worried for a moment when he started to take that fall damage, but he remembered he had the Silver Surfer's board and was able to get out of the fall damage. But they are right on top of these players. They have to be careful. They are going to get Iron Man uni-beamed right there, and it's by Nate Hill. Nate Hill is still doing well in this game, and he didn't have a uni-beam before. He didn't have one at all, but now in this rotation, he's picked one up. So early game, no unibeam for Nate Hill. Now transitioning into it, it's a very, very interesting strategy. So play defensive early, and then later, that's when you pick up that Iron Man unibeam.
And you saw right there the rotation being late to the safe zone party. Nate Hill just closes the door and bounces them back out to the lobby. Here's the first time appearance. Okay, I like this idea. Knowing that someone's above you, Thor hammering them down into a fire trap. Can Jack pull that off? That is going to be, dare I say, a hot play. But instead, the unit beam goes out. And that kind of brief moment took Clay's breath away.
It did. I was ready for it. Reminds me of the old spike trap impulse launch pad plays that we saw way back in the day in chapter 1. Gotta get creative with it, and that is the beauty of the $1 million Marvel Super Cup, is that you have this ability to be creative and go for plays that you normally wouldn't be able to make in Fortnite competitive. And Jack is not even using any of his abilities. He's just spraying everyone down there with that rare AR, but he doesn't have a lot of ammo left, Sancho. He gets that elimination on the last little bit of his ammo.
Yeah, he's going to look for that refresh. That's still going to be a factor. Getting refreshes for ammo and health and materials, considering there is a lower mat cap. But now Jack and his duo mate Stink are going really well together. Stick and Jack are looking nice. That surfboard that we have been seeing, the Silver Surfer board, is a great part of a way to get those rotations to the front side. Zone priority, but you're seeing they're doing a dead side rotation. They'll be able to come back, and Hero with the fade away Thor's hammer from Jack. Hero gets knocked right down.
What a beautiful play there with Thor's Mjolnir strike. Has to watch out for Groot's Bramble Shield up above. Places a fire trap, but Bramble Shields all around. Boards from Silver Surfer getting all of the builds destroyed. And Nate Hill, unfortunately, going to fall in the feed. In the meantime, Jack's board should be up off cooldown. He does use Mjolnir strike there. Try to find anybody on the backside, is not going to be able to do so. And they're looking for high ground. Sancho, he's going to land right on him. Is he going to be able to get the one pump? And he does. He gets it. Jack has been popping off this entire game. Now has control of the high ground with Sticks. Should be able to pick up the Victory Royale. But this is the Marvel Super Cup. Anything can happen. There's so many different superpowers that could come through. Thor's Mjolnir strike, the smash and grab there from Venom, the uni beam from Iron Man. Everything could go wrong at a moment's notice, but it looks like it's going their way. They're dropping down. They're breaking everything down. Mjolnir strike from up above is not going to hit. The shots come through. He doesn't even need it. He doesn't need the superpowers. He's using it, but Groot's Bramble Shield is going in his zone. Don't think that's where that player wanted to go. Zone is pulling, but Iron Man's uni beam is there. It hits, and the follow-up spray from Jack. They will be able to pick up the epic Victory Royale.
Jack and Six says hello to Groot and goodbye. Say hello to Iron Man's Unibeam, my guy. And they get themselves that Victory Royale. What a solid performance from Jack and Sick. And that was what's we got to bring back our boy Zeke to kind of react to these awesome gameplay that we're seeing out of that NA East region. But Clay, I love
are going in the competition right now. We've got Jamper and AV. What is this lead? We're still really early on. I mean, Clay, I did not expect this.
I didn't either. They've got a huge lead over second and an even bigger lead over third. It is so many points, and they've done it with no Victory Royales.
Man, that is impressive, but looking at second place, it is that FNCS Trio champion Miro and Avery right coming in. Miro coming in from the championship side, combining forces with Avery, who had a great one with Booga and Jamper. But now let's take a look at the rest of the pages here. Demonata, Kanata, Macwood kind of slipping down to the second page, but hey, that's not because I'm taking a look at their overall matches, and I'm thinking what they're doing is they're kind of making sure they're getting some good use out of it, Clay.
They are, and Miro is now up into fifth place, or reverse rather, up into fifth place there as well.
Nice.
And Day is here. All of the NA East Trio FNCS champions are in the top 15 right now, Sancho.
Oh, yeah, and we saw also as well a great performance from OSP and Gonzo in that DreamHack stage last night. So OSP and Gonzo doing really well as well. And then we have TSC Commandment and Liquid Stretch looking really solid in striking distance. So far, I don't see anyone having that huge surmountable lead that Janice and Reason had in the EU region. But hey, talk about some DreamHack champions. X at Night and Shark sitting at 24th place.
Some of this, I feel like, is attributed to still like a little bit of slow.
We're about to take it away, and we're about to the midpoint of the NA East time. It is a Marvel Super Cup. Heroes are rising, and hey, maybe there's a couple of anti-heroes out and about. I don't know, whatever these NAS players want to be. We all know the NA East loves to be demons. They love to have that swagger. But I'm interested to see who's going to be proud and be on top of that Marvel Super Cup leaderboard at the end of the day. Already we mentioned Jamper and AV sitting up top of there, and Jamper and AV are looking really good, but who's going to catch up to them? You mentioned already the FNCS Trio champions, Day, Miro, and Reverse 2K respectively on their duos, looking really good as well, Clay.
They are, and I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon, as we saw their run on FNCS just kind of hold that first place there for a while. Maybe see it here. Now we've got Sigma and Shapop here. Doom's domain. We know Dooms has been a hot topic this entire season, and now it is culminating here in the Super Cup. You can get Doom's Mystical Bomb and Arcane Gauntlets here from himself there, and access to the Volt. It's pretty much a guaranteed superpower there that you want. But some of these players not choosing to use it, going for that Silver Surfer Sword and those Iron Man repulsors as well. We all know that Iron Man Judy Beam is the priority #1 for a lot of these players.
And of course, the goal is to be in the #1 spot. We did say Jamper and AV are currently sitting on there, and so far they played in the 3 most difficult games. They've put up 19, 14, 14 Elans respectively in those games. So as the day progresses, the lobbies will get tougher for those people on top, and they're going to have to really earn that victory in that leaderboard standings, considering that that's the way it works in these open kind of qualifiers. You got 3 hours to work with, you got 10 matches to work with, and wow, look who it is, the duo of lore, Chap and Vivid, now representing Cloud9 here, doing a scavenger route in this match.
And it's so good to see them back together again. I know everyone that watched Fortnite competitive from the beginning has been following Chap, has been following Vivid for so long, and now they have come back together to form, I'm going to say it, a super team, Sancho, as we're in the Super Cup here.
You know what? They're old school, and I'm going to go old school. They're like P. Diddy and Mace, you know what I'm saying? Gonna come back, and hopefully their old school hits could be a #1 chart topper here. Chap and Vivid, they could totally do that. Of course, Vivid returning to the scene, Chap being holding it down. He has a huge average placements when it comes to the grand finals, so that is what it's on the line here for Chap and Vivid. And I always like seeing them. They're the the founding fathers of a lot of the competitive fundamentals when it comes down to when they had their stint with Team Liquid, alongside with 72 Hours, aka Comp Tom. Can't forget about that, but we can't forget about also other pros in this match, and that is the Sentinels Animal. And let me stand on my head to read this right here. Let me turn around. Hold on. Vanish Kaz. All right, my guy. There it is. You got your opportunity to show off your upside down name. I don't even know how's that possible, but I guess it is.
Hey, always trying to keep everyone on their toes, guessing who they are in these games. But yes, Vanish Kaz and Animal, 185 points. This is a very stacked lobby. We've seen a lot of big names. XNB, Outcast Frat here, a staple name in the FNCS and in NA East as well. Animal, Chap, Kaz, Vivid, so many big names here for NA East. This is a very, very stacked lobby, but they are W King. They are going aggressive, and look, Doom's Domain Volt has actually got an ambush being set up inside by Motive and Dom. Chapop and Sigma are getting ambushed by Animal and Kaz, and now, if anybody's got Iron Man's Unibeam, they could just spray that down here and get so many tags.
It looks like so far no Unibeams going out. Animal and Kaz are just kind of trying to see how much they could, stick their fingertips in this cookie jar, maybe walk away. Never mind, spoke too soon. Unibeam does go out. I don't hear any kind of connections or shield breaks, but still Animal now decides to go, I will finish this myself. Goes in with that legendary pump shotgun. He gets at least 1 elim, and you're hearing the sounds of that port going off right now. So now Vanish and Animal are going to have some of the leftovers here of that big old food fight going down.
A food fight indeed, but we are all the way over to Wolverine's home this season, Weeping Woods, and if you are able to eliminate him, you will get his claws. We'll see if any of these duos have those, but Where Blythe here has Thor's Mjolnir Strike, is not using it, and may be on cooldown, able to track this player, but they're going to Bramble Shot on out. It is going to be broken there with the SMG spray. The follow-up, will it be enough? Will he be able to get into the box? He could Mjolnir Strike right now. This would do 100 damage to this player and break all of these boxes. The combat shotgun is going to be a lot of damage, but it's not going to be as much as if he had a pump. The damage will be taken by him, but it was only a 30 tag. He tries to deal some damage back and will take down Orange, but Kiwis is going to come around and get him. And I think Kiwis, another one of those content creators from NAEs, showing up here. We'll see if he's able to clutch it up, though. This is a very big situation, and he brambles out. Will he be able to get out of this one alive? And unfortunately, no. Will be eliminated as he tried to run with Groot's Bramble Shield.
Yeah, looks like a kid was able to make a fruit salad out of orange and kiwis right then and there, right before our eyes, and get rewarded with 10 points. And that's a good start. 188, they're looking really solid. Like I mentioned, this is the midpoint of the Marvel Super Cup. And at this midpoint here, you're going to want to be around 188 to 200 or so. We already took a peek at the leaderboard. That leaderboard is just going to keep rocking and rolling. They're going to keep going higher and higher. They're in already in the low 300s. So, hey, Black's and a kid on Twitch are going to have some opportunities to make their way up, but getting those engagements right then and there is the way to do it. And speaking of an engagement, you talked about the big names. Here it is, Marvel Superpowers, but we have Titans of the Fortnite world clashing toe-to-toe in a box fight.
They are. Acorn and Jock have a very awkward fight right here near that Slurpy Swamp Dam area. They've got to be careful. They don't have the HP advantage here. The shots go through. Acorn now putting the damage back. Will be in a good spot. They've got to be careful for Iron Man Judy Beam. Those Chug Splashes will come through. They can break this down. They're going to just go for the old-fashioned chop down. Make sure they own all the walls. Piece control there for them. As Straw Hat Charlie is going to take down Yuz in the feed, but Charlie will fall not shortly after. Acorn and Jock doesn't even seem like they are looking for these opportunities to use these superpowers. They just want to go back to what they know. They want to go back to the standard box fight. And you mentioned Titans. That's Avery and Miro on the other side. I think 6th place fighting against 2nd place right now in a very big clash of Titans. And we'll see if they're going to be able to get out. Dr. Doom's Mystical Bomb and Arcane Gauntlets could be in play here as well. You see the fire starting to spread. So Mystical Bomb is here. Demonata will fall in the meantime. Animal going to take him down. But Acorn, it's a very, very, very nice beam on whomever that was right on top of it. Could be Avery, could be Miro, but there was a third party that came in as well.
Yeah, and that is what it comes down to. The third party's looking for that opportunistic way to get those easy E-limbs, and that was what happened right there. You saw the big disengagement. You see that big disengagement, it's going to cost a shockwave grenade, but with the Silver Sulfur board, you can get away for free, essentially wait for that cooldown. But Acorn and Jock are not free just yet. They're in this battle. There are now so many arrows looking this way on the minimap. This is barely zone 2, and so many engagements are breaking out. Edit down goes through. There's Wolverine Claws, proving that could be dangerous in the box. Is they going to be able to survive that? Jared's goes down, and I don't know who had Wolverine's Claws, but they look super scary. But hey, Acorn says, I'm not afraid. I will take a stand with my green pump shotgun.
It was, I believe, Jared that ended up having it there. Wasn't able to put the damage down that he wanted. Acorn just going to look at them and decide against it. And you know, Sancho, I have a little bit of a question for you, all right?
Hit me. Hit me.
All right. If Iron Man and Silver Surfer teamed up, would they be alloys?
Ooh, that's a good point. Maybe. My science is really, like, low right now. You tell me, Clay.
Oh, I think they would be alloys there. You know, you had to bring out the dad jokes earlier, so I threw one in there, too.
Fair enough.
Gotta keep it fresh here. Gotta keep, as Zeke would say,
keep me on my toes.
Just premium. Keep you on your toes as well. Acorn and Jock looking to keep their lobby on their toes as they are Silver Surfer porting out. They just want to keep the momentum going in their favor.
Okay, Clay, you're talking about premium gas, but now we got premium cheese? Oh, my goodness. I'm all for it. We have some premium super teams, and here is one right here, Miro and Avery. They have the most E-limbs using superpowers of any duo in the NAs, and that is the power that they have, the amplification, using their prowess, their technical skills, using the rotational mindset and all that kind of jazz, but at the same time making some loud noise with the Marvel powers, Clay.
Yeah, as you saw, someone using Groot's Bramble Shield to just get away there, does not want to use anything just to get noticed. They don't have much shields or heals. Have to get out there in Slurpee Swamp so they can find those heals. But Miro and Avery are getting aggressive, and there goes the Silver Surfer's board trying to get in, but Caleb is going to take down Avery. They've got to be careful. They could maybe get Iron Man Unibeam from afar. Thor's Wheel Air Strike may come in, but the edit course from Miro was there. That was absolutely disgusting, and now you see why they are making their way to the top of the leaderboard.
Miro, you're nasty, man. You're straight nasty. All of a sudden, you, like you said, going right into the edit course vibe, getting that even, making it look easy, not even missing the shot, no panic, all precision in the movement. Now you're going to go ahead and maybe find themselves some powers, but hey, the good thing is they're around Slurpee Swamp. They have the ability to kind of get back their shield using these abilities, the passive regen in the kind of the sewer down there as well, finding those slurp kegs as an opportunity. As you see Avery right there looking your X-ray vision. We're giving you superpowers here, folks. The X-ray vision, being able to see Avery going ahead and using his pickaxe, hitting those slurp kegs.
And this is a really good spot for them because, reminder, they are limited on materials, and Slurpee gives you so much metal. They can go back, get their refreshes, they can build up, and they can continue just to refarm all of their metal as well if they use more than they had on those refreshes. So a very great positioning opportunity for them. And look how big their base is, Sancho. It is so big. They do not really have to worry about getting Iron Man Unibeam or Thor's Mjolnir Strike, as now they're trying to go in. The Peace Control is there, and another elimination. Laggy ZG is going to get taken down, and they are not stopping. It's box to box to box. It's fight to fight to fight. They are showing you why they are not to be messed with.
I would like to play again Daredevil's advocate here, but imagine if they had Thor's Hammer Strike here. Imagine they had Unibeam just to make things a little bit more simpler. You might be right. You already mentioned some of our Fortnite Titans going back to what they know best. So Miro and Avery, no box fighting to the core. They sleep, eat, breathe, whatever you want to call it, eat, pray, love it the whole time. So when it comes to this, though, if they could amplify their output, yes, they already seen that stat that they do use a lot of superpowers, but I'm guessing right now is maybe they're just going to decide, hey, why don't we just use our own powers of our Fortnite prowess?
And they are doing so well, as unfortunately Avery is gonna fall, and now they're not as protected as they were, right? When they were in Slurpee, they had a lot of old builds to get this revive off, but it seems like no one, even though there's people close, is gonna be able to focus them. Maybe they don't have Iron Man's Unibeam, maybe they don't have the AR ammo to spray, maybe they don't have Venom Smash and Grab. I really want to see Miro pick this up. I think he is. He's popping that big shield, Sancho. I think he's going to pick up Venom Smash and Grab. He does. And this is going to be very interesting to see how one of the top players coming out of NA East uses it.
And what a great find from Avery right there, understanding that there was a group's Bramble Shield. Doesn't have to use any kind of actual heals, just goes inside the Bramble Shield, and already right then and there, almost up to 200 HP. Miro and Avery are doing really well. You may be arguing it is going to be Miro putting Avery in the backpack, but that is not true. Avery is creating a lot of pressure and a lot of opportunities for Miro to kind of sneak in and closing out engagements. And now they're going to go back into their old builds, back into their home base, and now there is someone next door here in this cone, and you know, Clay, Miro knows this, and he may go for a smash and grab opportunity.
He is.
Yes,
He's
there it is.
There, smash and grab, but can they follow up? The cone is there. Will Avery be able to do it? No, Roots Bramble Shield coming in, and Silver Surfer's board. They do get the elimination on the back end, and that's exactly why I wanted to see how they used it, because Miro is just so good at the game.
Wow. Miro gave no opportunity for iKid to get away. That was impressive. He said, get over here, and pulled them right into the builds. And with that aggression right there, and like you said, Unibeam is very close by, but they know if someone's in a cone, and he knew exactly, hey, someone's in this cone, Avery. I'm going to Venom Smash and Grab and bring them to me. What a great use to see at a high-level player using a very powerful Marvel power-up right then and there.
And they're not stopping. They're looking for this team that just try to hit them with Iron Man's Unibeam. They will just block it off and go back to their safe haven that they created not long ago. A smash and grab came through, but Miro was not able to hit it. A snipe narrowly just tags Miro there. Doesn't have any more shield. He's going to have to try to find an elimination, get that siphon back or find some more of these Slurp kegs that are around Slurpy Swamp. As we see Zone pull out into the swamp there, it is no longer going to be in these old builds, no longer going to be in these buildings.
I have to question. I saw Vanish Bully in the feed. He did get knocked and confirmed. That means reverse 2Ks in his fight, and another smash and grab went right through. Hey, that is not some kind of a bug that just happened right then and there. It was Miro reaching across, grabbing his opponent and bringing him to him. That's awesome to see in a box fighter's repertoire. To add that Venom smash and grab, it just makes things a lot scarier. And then when you have Avery, who was locked and loaded with a very dangerous pump shotgun, now you're talking about Elim's fragging coming out here, as now Fernando goes down in the feed and Avery picks up a knock on Viral. So hey, if Avery starts cooking up, you're going to see a strong performance from this duo, and as you mentioned already, Clay, moving up the leaderboard really fast.
This is a great game for them to do that as well. 8 elimination, and it doesn't seem like they are stopping anytime soon. They keep finding Elims, they keep finding players that are rotating on it, and notice they have no heals. They have Groot's Bramble Shield, but that is the only form of healing they have. They are just finding Elims, and they are healing up based on those Elims. So they are playing this their way. They're not playing this the standard, typical Fortnite Battle Royale competitive way. They are using these powers very effectively, but Miro is going to get landed on 2 players. Over surfboard off the top of the build and come down, and it looks like he will be fine for now. We do see Acorn and Jock in a fight. Stowe is going to silverboard out. Will he be able to get involved in this? No, he won't, as Acorn and Jock will stem the pressure for now.
And Savage goes down in the field, and that was a second place team so far on the leaderboard. Sentinel's Animals get knocked. So there is, the top of the board is in this match, and this is going to be a big time opportunity for teams like Acorn and Jack to move up their leaderboard, to stop other duos who are contesting for the top of the board, to stop their run, as Animals does get confirmed, and there goes this upside down partner of Kaz. So we have ourselves a fantastic finish that's going to go down here on the outskirts of Slurpy Swamp. Who's going to be able to overcome all this chaos that's happening as the double unit beam does go out? Does not get the huge confirmation that we're looking for. Already we've been in the placement zone. About six placements have already been doled out here, Clay, and 35 players remain so far in this match. But oh my goodness, Acorn and Jack get it. They get a knock here. They're looking good. But look, Clay, they pulled max pool in that half in and half out for zone 5, and that's going to be scary going forward.
And what's more scary is that there's someone nearby with Iron Man Junie Beam. They are going to shockwave away, as you saw those little green bodies move on through your screen and get out. But that was so risky. They went for that aggressive play and almost got eliminated because of it. Speaking of eliminations, there is Miro yet again in the feed, picking up elimination after elimination after elimination. And I said earlier that these two right there, you saw them, the Fuzzy McWhiskers there and Stevie McSweat in the game. What creative names. We got to give a little shout out there to that. Those are some pretty creative names. Changing your name up, at least just something creative.
At least to something creative that you could probably name a cat. Acorn and Jack here are being the big cats of our Fortnite world. Old school players all the way going back to World Cup. We all know who they are, and they're going to kind of make a statement here in this match here. 216 points, looking really strong, but we got to keep an eye on the feed as well. You already mentioned Miro. He's doing just so much damage with that Venom smash and grab. If you give a box fighter an opportunity where they don't have to break into your box, they could bring that box fight to you, that's going to be huge, Clay.
And look, left side of your screen right now, Sancho, Reverse 2K is alive, and he is still thriving in this game. We did see Bully, you mentioned it earlier, go down. Reverse is still here, so trio mates fighting it out amongst each other in this map. Everybody wants to claim the title of NA East Marvel Super Cup winner, and it is going to come down to a brawl.
Absolutely, as Sundown said, another kind of mini Civil War 2.0 with the Fortnite pros. But no, my goodness, that is Thor's hammer that comes right on top of the head of Jack here. Hey, but Acorn's still fighting, and that's Avery. That means this is Miro. Oh my goodness, Acorn with the 2-piece and a side drink right then and there. Wow, you took off a big feeling and you're not done yet. Holy
and he got the apple
Acorn.
pie, Sancho. He got the whole combo. He got everything. He said, I wanted fries, I wanted a drink, I wanted special sauce, and I wanted that dessert on top, and might as well throw in the toy for free.
Oh my goodness, the toy? All right, let's go. But Acorn going right in, not inside the zone priority. We take a brief moment to pause on that. What an unbelievable play from Acorn, who took out Avery and Miro, who we saw cooking up the entire lobby. But now it comes down to good old-fashioned positioning when it comes to Fortnite. Get inside to the front of the zone to have that ability to kind of pick on anybody rotating late, and with that storm on your backside, that's just going to create a lot of pressure. We already been seeing these Marvel powers create a lot of pressure on the lobby, and it doesn't take much, Clay, to create pressure. A unibeam, a change of position with the surfboard, and you could hold on to height, and that is what Dev64 and Yuz are hoping on.
Yeah, Yuz actually got back up through just a normal shockwave. Funny enough to call them normal in this cup, as we've got so much mobility. And Donnie, who aim trains, unfortunately not able to get out of this one. He does go down. Oliver OG, though, his partner, is still here. He is silver surfing through the air, as Yuz is going to find another elimination. And he looks like he's going to find another one. Yuz definitely aim trains there as he takes down Donnie. This is looking so good for Yuz. They more than likely will be able to finish it off with a nice shotgun shot. They're dropping down. Big pump there. Only going to hit for 44. No AR ammo. He's going to have to try to scavenge whatever he can. Maybe he can grab Iron Man's unibeam there to top it all up. He's got very little offensive capability unless it's in that pump shotgun, which he does have. It a nice flick there onto Acorn. He finds him lurking behind. This should be able to be the victory royale for them. A 1v2. Everything is coming out. They've got the bouncer sword. Millionaire strike is coming through. It's sitting him up. They're sitting him down. Will they be able to find him? Surfboard in the zone, and they're not going to be able to do it. Silver Surfer's board is not enough. Yuz finds the victory royale with 6 eliminations.
And that is a grand total of 9 elims. And you mentioned, Clay, the victory royale. Yuz from the Misfits doing so well right then and there. What a great close. And hey, that's what I like to see. You're seeing them use the surfboard right there alongside with Dev64. Being able to control that lobby, getting in front of that zone priority. It is the Marvel Super Cup, and all the action has been happening left and right. And now we are front and center at Craigie Cliffs. It just gives me those goosebumps moments that we used to experience in the movie theaters, watching our favorite heroes, and you see that kind of title splash. I love it. I love this, Clay. How are you doing so far today, brother?
I am enjoying every possible minute of it. I know everybody playing will be as well, as I hope the viewers are enjoying it as well, because this has been non-stop action, non-stop fun, and non-stop premium cheese here.
Woo, buddy. And already we're going to have some hot takes coming left and right. And what a great hot take from Zeke right before we went some break, saying apple pie is the best pie. Well, my friend. There's my friend named Pumpkin, who would have to say not so fast. As we do see out here in this distance, though, Savage, who kind of went down a little bit earlier here, Clay, is in this kind of POI, and he is one of our top contenders here of the Marvel Super Cup. But thoughts on Zeke's apple pie statement?
You know, when he said that, the first pie that popped into mind was blueberry, but I 100% think, hands down, uncontested, that pumpkin pie is the best pie in the world. So I'm with Sancho. Zeke, I know what's going on over there, but you gotta taste some good pumpkin pie and then let us know.
And speaking of uncontested, that's not going to be an option here for these duo competition. You are going to have some neighbors as you're landing in your starting POI, and these engagements are going to be, you know, they're going to wrap up very quickly alongside with those Marvel powers, but it looks like Oscar and Torvex are going to have to go ahead and chase someone down here that is trying to get away, but no, so far, no closing the distance on Marvel power here. Maybe a nice Black Panther kinetic armor could go into effect, but no, Oscar is going to go ahead and decide to do it the old school way and finishes out with a nice knock on short aim.
That would have been a perfect opportunity to use the kinetic armor there, because it negates damage that you take, and it does damage and throws them back. So a perfect opportunity, maybe a missed one, but they were able to clean it up. They were able to get the elimination. Look, they even have She-Hulk's fist there lying on the ground. Not going to pick it up. Groot's Bramble shield there as well. DSM's Fernando taking down Drew, so they are here. Tragic is here. Not Panda is in this game as well. So as we get into these final games, you're going to start to see more and more and more well-known NA East names, because they are going to be at the top. As we see, there are some of these unknown players through everyone's eyes that are able to get through. use these superpowers and get to the top of the leaderboard. And hey, if we see one of them make their way all the way to the top and be able to claim that first place prize, that would be an amazing sight to see.
And at the same time, seeing it done against some of the elite of the FNCS community, that is going to be huge. Seeing yourself on the same leaderboard as a Day, as a Paper, as a Bully, Reverse 2K, that has to feel good. And already at the same time, I think these Marvel powers just give you a little bit of confidence, like, hey, I'm not mechanically gifted like these other players, but at the same time, I understand what I could do with these Marvel powers. And in the EU side of things, we saw Colin, who did so well, and wow, Oscar finding some nice trophies out of that fishing spot, getting himself that purple pump, looking really good. Now Crumbler and Savage are looking really good to start this day, but that to keep up that momentum, because those names that I mentioned, Clay, are still right behind them.
And unfortunately, Not Panda is very weak. 108 effective HP, but Savage will fall. Not Panda came from the side. Ooh, he was able to follow it up. Crumbler is unfortunately going to crumble under the pressure of the Marvel Super Cup. Was not able to get those elims.
Yeah, and that's back-to-back, a little bit of a slip-up in their games here. As we already mentioned, the competition is getting a little bit stacked here as we're moving on throughout the day for the NAE. So you're going to see a lot of teams with high points competing for it, having the ability to get in an earshot to make some noise for that #1 spot. But Jamper and AV, last time we checked in, had a pretty decent lead. But Miro and Avery, with that pop-off game that we previously just cast, was a sight to see. And Admin going in for that smash and grab, not afraid to fight as a solo here, losing Vosh already in this fight.
That was a really good usage of the smash and grab, and the piece control was almost there for his opponent, but Admin is just taking these fights so long. The peanut butter peaks are not going to be enough. Turns out Admin is more of a fan of almond butter as he gets that elimination and is able to maybe get the reboot on his teammate.
And of course, it is, here in the NAE side of things, here in the States, Thanksgiving's just around the corner, and there's plenty to be thankful for. Of course, we are thankful here to be celebrating the Marvel powers in an awesome way with the Marvel Super Cup, and now Admin has got to find a way to reboot Vosh. And yay, we all know Thanksgiving, sometimes the best thing is the leftovers, and that's what Admin is going to have to do, is resurrect this turkey dish from Vosh and turn him into that delicious turkey sandwich.
Couldn't said it better myself. I love a good meal right after Thanksgiving. It's so good. But will Admin be able to find any leftovers here? They will be able to go back to their old loot, but they've got to be careful. Someone is in Doom's domain. They don't have any Marvel superpowers to get them over there quicker. Now, again, no cars. Cars have been disabled. There is no ability to get there quicker. So they're going to go back. They're going to loot up inside Doom's domain, and they're going to try to do something here. But look, we've got a little C9 on C9 fight happening. Avery getting tagged up there by Vivid and Chap. And when Vivid and Chap realize who it is, I'm honestly not going to be surprised if they do a little dance on him and get a little insult there to that injury, which is them taking him down. And you see Miro just running away. The Silver Surfer's board. Not going to be enough. And Sancho, the smash from Seahawks is finally being used. Chap is going to use it just to finish off Avery there, and will unfortunately drop it for the Iron Man Unibeam, but still good to finally see some action there with She-Hulk's fist.
It looked cool. I know the person was knocked, but it looked cool, right? It looked kind of cool to see. And now we're seeing some more action here from Vivid and Chap. Vivid and Chap are kind of on the maybe like the second and third page, if you want to kind of think about it. They're not yet in that earshot that we're talking, but it could be this pop-off game that could get them there. Vivid and Chap, as already mentioned, the P. Diddy and Mace making that return back here. And now Sentinel's animals that we saw earlier as well. Oh, 262 to the Dome Animal. Now it's going to have to go solo. Now we're taking a peek here that Vanish Kaz has been sent out. And he's upside down in that world here. So Animal, dodging hammers and looking really solid here as a solo player. But let's see if he can kind of withstand this box pressure that's about to happen here.
Yeah, and he's got Silver Surfer's board out. You see, and you hear that little glow that comes out every time he pulls it out. He's just waiting. The Unibeam is there. Is it going to hit him? No! It actually doesn't end up hitting it. Iron Man's Unibeam was not strong enough to go through those fully built walls, and they will not get the tag. So for right now, Animal is okay. Kronos and company are able to get these eliminations. Look, they're picking up. Venom smash and grab again.
I gotta say, maybe geometry is not some of our players' strong. I know a lot of them are architects, but that Iron Man unit beam, it's a straight shot, and if you angle it towards the ground, sometimes the turf is gonna eat that right then and there, and that's what happened previously. But Brohonos and Druk84 here with 4 elims so far in this match, a pretty decent run in the tournament, 232 points. These are open queues. You have 3 hours and 10 matches to work with, and Brohonos and Druk, whoa, smash and grab right in the box, but that's pretty dangerous when you're low on HP. At least they get the knock right there on Admin, and Admin falls to be, a victim of Venom's symbiotic powers.
And we talked about, will the reboot be worth it? Will they be able to find any leftovers? And the only leftovers they are finding is day-old green bean casserole that's burnt a little bit because your grandma burnt it up just a little bit in the fridge. So unfortunately,
no thanks.
Not able to get into that victory royale moment that they wanted.
Give me the day-old mashed potatoes. That's what's all about. I could work with that. And that's what Bronos and Druk are trying to work with it as well. Smash and grab, looking inside the cookie jar of this box. Does not connect, but it's just a matter of time. They're going to have to hurry and wrap this up, B, because Doom's Domain, they're in the distance, and the third party can be real. Look, the arrow's already looking, Clay. Danger, danger is about to go down.
I'm definitely in danger there if I was Bronos, but they're able to finish it up. And look, the arrows, they're running away. They don't want any piece of that pie. They're definitely pumpkin pie fans today, Sancho. But a great elimination nonetheless from Bronos and his teammate. They did it quickly, and they got out. And, ooh, we've got some big names here. Scented and Ved here in this lobby. Scented, 258 points, will be near the top of the leaderboard. But can they move their way up? They are choosing to leave, however, the smash and grab on the ground in terms for Iron Man's Unibeam.
It's pretty much the standard at the moment, but we're seeing there is some flexibility in the meta that has been literally developed here day one, and that's what's so exciting, is how adaptive all these Fortnite players can be. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, the pro scene, the content creator scene, the creative scene, it doesn't matter. You literally all are starting off with the same ground foot, day one, ground zero type of vibe when it comes to this meta forming right here and right now. Granted, these players have been working all day in the sense for their time zone getting to this point. This is the top 1,000 duos going at it to see who's going to be at number one in this queue time, Clay. And so far, we've been seeing a lot of really awesome combos. Not a lot of Storms, Whirlwind Blasts as we take a look there, because that right there in the Marvel Knockout LTMs proved to be very effective mitigating a lot of that Unibeam damage.
It is, and it mitigates a lot of damage as well from Iron Man's repulsors, from Dr. Doom's Arcane Gauntlet, from Dr. Doom's Mystical Bombs as well. Anything that gets thrown or shot at you during that Whirlwind Blast will be reflected and negated. And especially that Mystical Bomb, it'll throw that bomb right back at whoever threw it at you. So it is such a strong ability we are not seeing used to its fullest potential. We may see it in these last couple of games. Throtles, however, is in a very awkward spot. Does not have his duo with him. Does not have a big pump to work with. But he is setting up an ambush, Sancho.
Yeah, and there's nothing scarier than the people underneath the stairs. And that is what's happening right here. The ambush opportunity could strike like a cobra sitting fully coiled, ready to bite anybody that's walking down right then and there. But Strudels is Lone Ranger for a bit. And it's going to have to hold on as much as possible here, but he's just kind of banking that someone's going to rotate through late. Now we're going to go back into the story of the ruins here. This is battle happening with Ved and Liquid Scented, and it's like an old school box fight here. And the crazy thing is that they're not going to be able to walk away with a lot of materials. So they're just essentially setting up a lot of real estate. Now it's outside of the safe zone. So zone 3 here is just a little bit of a hop skip. Not like a hot skip, a jumping away. It's a little hop skip here. But sometimes hopping and skipping, you may trip, and all of a sudden you're out sent to the lobby, Clay.
I was going to ask if you were going to include the jump there, but he included the jump for you. He used that Silver Surfer's board effectively, was able to get it. And I like that they pre-fired those bushes with their AR. But again, I go back. If he had used his Iron Man's Unibeam on that bush, it would have saved them a lot more time on rotation because it would have cleared the bush out. It would have gotten rid of it. they wouldn't have had to worry about it anymore. Now getting focused by Doom's Mystical Bomb, they've got it open, and here there's going to be a double Iron Man Unibeam if they set it up and they really want to go for it. They choose not to because they don't have that much information, and Chap is unfortunately going to fall to himself, maybe ticked over to zone. Not exactly sure what happened there, but Vivid may still be in this lobby to carry them through.
Yeah, I kind of like that. They understood that using Unibeam, double Unibeam, kind of lets someone know, like, hey, again, we're on cooldown. You could Unibeam us. And I think that's what Ved and Senta did. They looked at their little walls. They looked at you could see the translucent and say, hey, let's see who else is around. Let's kind of make sure our Unibeams are true. But there is a danger of not having a clean edit. They're going to have to replace some of their walls, as Unibeam does have a little bit of area effect on the person using that. But hey, Liquid Senta gets that green light, and when he gets the green light, he's going to go in, and the shockwave grenade is going to go out, but it was not enough, as Senta was able to catch them right before they left.
Beautiful execution, very, very A+ usage of the powers, right almost on cooldown. They use that Silver Surfer board to get through these builds, to get through that gap and close the distance. You're talking about Mjolnir Strike. There's Mjolnir right there. All of our players, I think they've got a fake replica or something over there. We saw that one come down at the beginning of the season. We all had to go pick it up so we could get that beautiful in-game Thor outfit and, of course, Mjolnir that we could use. But everybody here choosing to use Iron Man Unibeams and Silver Surfer's board. We did see some Mjolnir strikes, though, come through from Jake and in EU as well. I think a lot of players will realize later in the games how strong the Mjolnir strike is.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, seeing that scramble for Thor's hammer at the beginning of the season just reminded me of a flashback to when Thanos was around and everybody making a mad scramble towards that, though, as Gage gets knocked by Kiwis. And we talked about the content creators from the NAE showing up here. Didn't have a strong showing in the earlier match here, Clay, but they're making a strong push and applying a lot of pressure on this team that's put them extremely on the back foot. But this is what I'm talking about. Now that you're in this box-to-box type mechanic here, hey, slow it down. Don't push it all the way. Wait for another Unibeam to come back in.
Yeah, or wait for Mjolnir Strike. We talked about not really many players picking it up. Orange is actually going to drop his Silver Surfer board for it and will pick up Thor's Mjolnir Strike because he realizes, hey, this is box-to-box Fortnite. Not everybody has a lot of build. If I use Mjolnir Strike to open up the fight, I will get a lot of wasted mats from that enemy. They're going to be put in a very bad spot. You heard Iron Man's Unibeam going off multiple different times. Kiwis is going to try to use it here. Mjolnir Strike going down. The combo of the Wombos is there. Strace is trying to get in, but Kiwis and Orange, they wanted redemption, but they've got to dodge Iron Man's Unibeam. They've got to dodge Thor's Mjolnir Strike coming all around from so many different angles.
And that is the danger of using Iron Man's Unibeam, folks. You think like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get myself a free 90 tag. Here I go, business hips away into the box. No, sir. Not so fast, my friends, because all of a sudden the rest of the lobby decides to use their Unibeams as well. That's why Ved, Liquid, who is this again? Liquid Scented? Right? They're the ones that realize, like, yo, we need to make sure that everyone around us doesn't have Unibeam. Maybe Unibeams are already used. Taking those moments is going to separate you from being a Fortnite, high-tier player, and, of course, from the middle of the pack. Those are the moments, the information, looking at cones, looking through your edits. That's the kind of steps that you're going to need to do. And now, Ved and Licentin, understanding that there is an opportunity to get some elims, sending in that double Unibeam, and yes, they connect on Narwhal V.
And we talked about how you could get lobby focused with Iron Man's Unibeam if someone opens up on you with their Iron Man's Unibeam. Scented and Ved decide to do it as well. Everybody decided, hey, there's a free elimination there. Let's just send our Unibeams that way. And Ved and Scented were able to pick up that elim. I like that they're doing it from natural cover. They're not wasting builds because, as you noticed, not a lot of builds here on Scented. They don't really have a lot to work with, so they decided we're going to sit back. We're going to play as far edge as we can. We know nobody's behind us, so we can sit, use these Unibeams, wait for cooldown to come back up, and then they can choose to rotate with their Silver Surfer's board. As we hop over, we see Thor's Mjolnir Strike, Orange going way up in the air, trying to Silver Surfer board out. Doom's Mystical Bomb was thrown at them as well. They're very aggressive, but will it not pay off as Kiwis is unfortunately going to get beamed out of the air and finished up very quickly after.
And here we are, we're getting into our half in and half out. Zone 5 has been revealed. Now we have 32 seconds or so for all the people that are just on the outside. And you're looking at Curbs and Sasquatch, who are just on the middle of this. Now they have to make a hop, skip, and the jump to be able to get inside the safe zone. They decide to go with the good old-fashioned crash pad just to get in. You're seeing a nice little single tarp. Again, not a lot of builds to work with, so they have to make sure that these kind of tunnels, that these full box tunnels, Clay, are not going to eat up to the resources. So that's going to make you so dangerous and looking for those refreshes. And Thor's hammer strike being true as Doom's mystical bomb raining back down on Sasquatch and Serbs.
And you talked about being lethal and being just so good at getting in map management. However, that's exactly how you do it. You get a nice refresh. You don't have to worry about map management because you are topped off. But Thor's Mjolnir strike, while they used it, is being used all around on them. You cannot be too much of a loot goblin here. If you are, you will get tagged up by the mystical bomb, by Mjolnir strike, by Iron Man's Unibeam. Everybody does know that there's loot there. And look, almost on cooldown, Serbs is using Mjolnir again. He's going to take down Oliver OG. Will Donnie able to get it, but no, Sasquatch is going to be able to get it. And look, they used Mjolnir strike, and Mjolnir came back to fight them, as unfortunately Sasquatch is going to go down.
The missed timing right there, walking into that box with a great timing from their opponents. Now it serves to go solo for the rest of the way. We are getting closer and closer to the in-game moments of this match. You're seeing Druk and Bruno sitting at height for the moment, but at the other side, it's Boxu and Tyler contesting for height as well. They do not pull zone priority, so they're going to have to moon and abandon this height hold. But at the same time, we've been seeing throughout the entire NA East Marvel Super Cup that the Silver Surfboard has that ability from the Silver Surfer is to get back to the other side of height and build. So Bronos and Druk 84 are going to have this ability to turn and burn and look for as many elims and take their time because they know in their back pocket, bang, they have the ability to now beam them down and hold them to height. Boom, here we go. Some highlight plays popping from Bronos here as he gets the nice knock on Vexy.
What a beautiful play to get that knock, almost actually going down. Very little HP, and he doesn't have Silver Surfer's board up off cooldown. He used it already, and it's about a 30-second cooldown. There's a lot of time in between that 25, I believe, the actual cooldown, and it doesn't stop until you actually land. You cancel it, but as soon as you land, then it happens. You see Groot's Ramble still going on. You see Bronos just holding that board out, but unfortunately, Silver Surfer will not be able to save him as he takes a big shot from behind.
Hey, still Druk 84 still in the fight there. Brono's going down with the big time cardinal sin of having 0 builds, and no matter how good you are, no matter what kind of Marvel powers you have, 0 builds will be your ultimate comeuppance. But Serbs, that solo player, still riding a solo as well, doing really good. Nothing like being a solo rider in this crazy theme park that is Fortnite. You still have the ability to get to the front of that zone priority there, the one-way ticket into the Victory Royale. We've been seeing this entire time in the Marvel Super Cup, Clay, that a solo player could walk away with some big-time points in the ultimate VR, Victory Royale.
Then Serbs needs a lot of help to do so. 2 builds remaining. He does have Silver Surfer's board, and a creative play.
Okay.
He's gonna almost net of elimination, and it does. That is gonna go down. He got creative when he needed to most. He got the Elim. Will he pick up Iron Man's Unibeam, though? He desperately needs to use this mobility to rotate out, so I don't think he's going to go for it. It really would give him a great opportunity as he's going to actually crash pad a player with them. 10 builds remaining. Will he be able to find it? A 1v1v1v1. Everybody's a solo. This is perfect for Serbs. No one is looking at him. No one is paying attention. He's got all the shots down below. Build battle for height, but there's not a lot of match. Nice tag there. 70. The player goes down. No Unibeam here for him. He can't get that shot. He cannot use the superpowers offensively here. He's going to have to use his AR, and he does. The shotgun shot AR combo was there. Serbs gets the Victory Royale and clutches up for his team.
And there it is, that one-way ticket to the front of the ride. And what a ride that Serbs put us on here, displaying all the prowess alongside with the Fortnite skill, with the Marvel powers, and getting that Victory Royale. Sasquatch has to feel good. 70 limbs and that 55 points. 4 place, mighty spiffy in that jacket, if I do say so myself, as we do have a handful of games ready to roll here for the Marvel Super Cup NA East style. And what a show our ENA East competitors have been putting on, Clay. Unibeams going left and right, a lot of smash and grabs from Venom, but you mentioned Thor's Hammer finally making an appearance as we're getting into the tail end of our slated games here.
I would love to see more Thor's Mjolnir strike, and I would love to also see a double Iron Man Unibeam be blocked by Storm's Whirlwind Blast. Would be interesting to see, as now we're seeing a very big fight. DP Chu is going to go down as Safi, TSM Saf, and BBG's Has are going to take them down. The first time we've been able to see them on broadcast.
Very interesting to see this duo together. Of course, Saf, we all know the story, built by Gamers Has as well. We saw him at the very beginning of the broadcast not having any kind of success at the Misty Meadows, but it looks like Saf and Has finding some success here at Doom's Domain, and pretty great start to their run here. 283, meaning start to this match. You know, that's what you want. 2 elims, 10 points, looking good. You're having a great run, 283. I'm just trying to take a peek at the leaderboard. I like to take a peek here and there. We haven't taken a peek yet at the desk for a bit, but once we do, we'll be able to get to see who's in striking distance. Safin Has not yet there, you know, not at that moment to where they could kind of put their names in that top % of the board conversation.
Hey, but a victory royale is 110 points, I believe, there if you get at least 10 eliminations. So
yes,
in a good spot. And so again, that's within striking distance. That's really good. And now we get to see Black Panther's kinetic armor used against the henchmen. Didn't want to take much damage from them, you know. They can deal a lot if you're not expecting it, but Trap didn't want to go anywhere near that. Wanted to use that as much as he could. And we now got to see, Iron Man Unibeam used in such a great way. How good that Volt and Doom's Domain is. Right, Dr. Doom is keeping a lot of different superpowers in there.
Yeah, and you're seeing already, okay, at the 1 minute mark, that means Outcast's Trap will have another Unibeam ready to roll. So keep an eye on the timer on your bottom right. Yes, he does get tagged himself, but now he's going to have the opportunity to retort, but the discussion could be closed very quickly. This debate right now, as Trap and Good Guy Nani are kind of separated for this moment now. Trap is going to have to be on the defense, and he only has about 3 seconds for the Unibeam to come back online, and that could be the thing that saves him, but he goes ahead. He gets an 80 tag against Has and gets the knock, and the siping comes through. No, where was Saf in that fight? Saf just leaves Has all by himself to go through with that one.
Yeah, but he's still here. He's still around putting down the damage. He can still get involved, but there's a third party coming through. A little Metro Classic trying to come through there with the Shockwave, but not going to be able to do it. And the edits are just too much. The dance going to come out as well. Good guy Nani just feeling himself, right? He says, you know what, we're going to take down this team. And Thor's Mjolnir strike is going to rain down from the heavens above and get a nice damage. And that stops them from pushing. That gives them a time to heal back up.
I mean, Nani going Nani and throwing down the Thor's Hammer. And hey, that's a full retreat from that duo. They are out of here. They don't want to deal with that at all. They're going to go ahead and back up and look for that super suit because they don't want to have any business dealing with Trap and Good Guy Nani, who had a really great run last night in the DreamHack stage as well. So feeling those vibes, seeing that, you know, back-to-back competitive opportunities are keeping a lot of our Fortnite players' tools very sharp, Clay.
Oh, but not as sharp as that beam, my good guy Nani, with
Nani.
the Unibeam as well. He got both eliminations, and they came to play. They realized we are not where we want to be. We do not have the eliminations that we want. And so they are going out in style. They are trying to get as many points as they can in this game. And Sancho, right now, they are looking really good.
Looking really solid considering that they were almost getting eliminated by Has and Saf. They absorbed their powers and moving on forward. And there it is, the staggered Unibeam. Now you're going to have, let's take a look at the clock, about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At that point right then and there, you're going to see another opportunity for our Unibeams to ring out. So, hey, this is what I'm saying. Just hold on. Just hold on to this opportunity. You know that team is going to box up. Don't go all the way through just yet. Just wait a little bit of time. And if you could wait, you have Unibeam again at your disposal, especially knowing you have a white tag. And especially that you know resources will be limited when you hold the walls, Clay.
And it's just going to be an awkward situation because he's going to try to disengage. But look at this. He's building up because he has Silver Surfer's board. He's not worried about fall damage. It may still be on a little bit of a cooldown there, but should be up. Nani should be able to find him. And look, Beauty Beam going to come out. Iron Man Beauty Beam so strong in the long distance snipe. This player trying to get out, but could not. Good guy. Nani is getting all the eliminations today.
Come on, Clay. One more, just one time for me, brother. Nani, you gotta give that little bit of oof right behind it because there's a lot of oofs. Hey, I'll give you another chance going forward, but hey, speaking of champions, it is the Dream Hack champions, Xset Knight and Xset Shark, representing the NA East right here, right now. And what a great day for them in this tournament. 347. This is a team that is definitely within that conversation for walking away being that Marvel Super Cup champions.
They are, and you can't count them out. You mentioned their past performances being so well. They have played together for, honestly, as long as I can remember them being in the scene together. They have a lot of chemistry with each other as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to come up the top of the leaderboard, get these eliminations that they need, get the placement that they need, and utilize these Marvel superpowers to take home first place in this Marvel $1 million Super Cup. Because you can't do it without utilizing these superpowers. We've seen some duos try, but unfortunately they have fallen short. And look, nice build up there, got a nice ramp. We've seen this before with shockwaves. You build up, you get that arc, you get a long distance range with that Silver Surfer's board. And they are just going to look to hop in, and Knight hops right on to Poft and takes him out in a quick 1-2 combo there with the epic pump.
Talk about a 1-2 punch ending with a KO knockout. Very strong opportunity, and they know this person's down below in the basements, and you got to be careful here. There's not a lot of basements in the Fortnite world, not even in the Alamo in our world, but this basement here is only the safe haven for this player. But the 109 tag is going to come through, and there's the shockwave to get away. But you know Knight and Shark are not going to let this go, and we've been seeing throughout this whole entire time, this demon is going to be exercised right outside of this lobby very shortly by Team Xset.
And they took him out quickly and effectively. They can rotate in the zone and not really have to worry about this zone damage. They've got 4 floppers there on Knight. A mech hit will be, I think, more than likely fused by Shark, but they're going to throw it into zone. They are going to just continue to use it so well, use these Marvel superpowers effectively. Bandage Bazooka was there, but hold on, they are getting held out of zone just a little bit. We do have a little bit longer in the queues. You still can get some games in if you've got them. If they go down here, it's not that big of a worry if they have more games in their back pocket.
You know, Knight and Shark making Fort Taylor their home base. If you want to go ahead and contest them, you know where they're going to be, and that is why they're so used to this rotation, and their prowess is just amplified, supersized, whatever you want to call it, by their Marvel powers. And you're seeing a fight break out here on the left side, and Barry just gets tracked, and Barry just gets beamed as you see Knight now laying down the pressure on the other gatekeeper. It's just a matter of moments as Knight and Shark are working together, and you hear it, you heard it, it's locked and ready to roll. It is Venom smash and grab. If need be, they're ready to go ahead and capitalize on that, but they close out on that engagement very quickly.
They do, and I want to point out, Knight used Silver Surfer's board very offensively. He was getting held out of zone. Silver Surf boarded all on top of the enemy, got that player weak, and then Shark was able to just beam them up. Unfortunately, not able to get the second elimination, but they are looking so good right now, and this is why we talk about them and how they've been playing for so long, because that chemistry, that synergy that you have, the comms that you don't need to talk about are so valuable, especially when you get a bunch of Marvel superpowers thrown in the mix.
Okay, I was wondering, where was Barry's teammate? Why did not Knight and Shark find him? This guy was chilling in a tree, and before you know it, they had heard the signal of the Silver Surfboard as Sype was trying to get away for that brief moment. But it could be a matter of GG's right here for this player, as time is but a factor. And when you got Team Xset repping the set, right? Oh, okay, wait a minute, slow it down, pump the brakes, Sancho. GG's is not ready to go away in this fight, and he just gets a big monster tag and a knock there on Knight.
I was going to say, what is he doing in a tree? He is not Groot, but right now everything is going so well for him here. He gets the white tag there on to Shark. A very, very good play. Sign just needs to follow up, just needs to capitalize. And actually the smasher grab going to be used. The shots go through. He gets him down low. Will he be able to follow up? Third party comes through, and he does. Shark is going to go down. He takes down XZ Knight and Shark, and he gets a little bit of a flare with that dance on top.
Okay. All right. GG's, no re. We still have at least one game left so far for our competitors, but that's going to be something that we have to think about there for Team Exit as some time to go with. Again, this is the open queues. You have 3 hours. You have 10 matches to go with. We already saw the EU region coming on through. Now it's NA East's turn. But can it be already in this match? Some phenomenal gameplay coming out of Trap and good guy Nani with 314 points, looking really solid here. 7 elims, but this is what I'm talking about. The outskirts engagements of these POIs. People kind of being aggressive to all these players who are used to making scavenger routes, and oh my goodness, in pin, I had no idea if you knew that was happening. You probably saw the red glow on your feetses, but before you know it, that unibeam coming from the sky, oh my, what a strike there, Clay.
That was insane. You have literally a split second to react, and unfortunately, good guy Nani did not. Rather, Inpin did not have the time. Nani did not give it to him. He said, get the shots off, boom, instant unibeam. And you know, Inpin may have been saying, Nani!
There it is. Thank you so much, Clay. But this is what I'm talking about. The maximum output of that DPS, the damage per second of the unibeam, using it at like you're kind of being like a sentinel, kind of just picking on anybody. And now you talk about the energy rifle being an absolute beamer when it comes to tags, but unibeam being utilized for the first time in a unique way, being perched up top here and fighting these insane angles and just picking on these people, trying to sneak away, trying to make these rotes, like these little snake rotations, and that's what's been working out really well for Nani and Trap.
And look, I think they, oh my God, that was a very big brain play that unfortunately did not work out in their favor. You saw Nani try to use the unibeam and then push him out into Trap's Mjolnir strike. I don't know if the strike did hit him, but look at that. Trap has now got a double Iron Man's unibeam there. And now once Nani's unibeam does come up, he can put the pressure back down while Trap goes in and tries to box fight him. The constant pressure is so good from this duo. They are looking like an elite level duo right now, Sancho. We saw them do very well yesterday in DreamHack, but look at the Iron Man's unibeam. The shot from the Observer is going to give us a beautiful POV of that player going down. Nani taking down Phoenix, who unfortunately does not look like they are going to rise from the ashes to climb their way to the top of the leaderboard. But their duo, Aoxy, is going to take down Trap, but Nani is right there to save the day.
Wow, Nani's operating on a whole other level. 9 elims looking really good. The management of the Marvel powers between that duo was able to get so many elims and so much value, but now Nani is going to try to find an opportunity. It's that great grand old question, do I go for the reboot or do I not? A lot of people say yes, it's worth it, but we're seeing already Acorn in the same kind of situation. Do I go for the reboot or do I not? Do I just kind of solo it out and try my best to find his opportunities here? But Acorn looking like he's going to have this opportunity to surfboard right in. I think Acorn, we already saw, not afraid to take engagement as a solo, and that is the kind of, like, that just separates you from the top of the, like, the elite there, Clay. Is like, hey, I know the numbers are not against, the odds are not against, they're against me, but I'm going to go ahead and just go right in and turn everything on my favor.
Yeah, you know, the odds in terms of being a solo may be against Acorn, but the mechanic odds are all in his favor. He is a very, very good player. And so when you think about it, it's not really like what you would think of 50-50 when he hops into boxes, because he knows he's got that beautiful shotgun there. As we see Perfect Hill going to get elimination. Lil Sampa going to be in the feed as well. First time we get to see them on the broadcast. But Acorn is just decimating kids.
That's so true. You know, the Marvel powers could kind of sway the odds, you know, considering that there's so much major damage. But when it gets down to brass tacks, when it gets down to the end of the day, box fighting and Fortnite mechanics will be that factor there. There's been so many times where I've gotten a big time tag with a big pump, and before you know it, I'm thinking, hey, I could close this out, and all of a sudden the mechanics of Fortnite kick in against the other player, and I get eliminated before I know it. Goosh and Strobe, 293 within that conversation. Enough about my lack of skill. Let's get focused on this awesome skill that's happening right here. Strobe and Goose, 293, just on the outside. I would say definitely in the middle of the pack here. They have an opportunity here. They're going to have some great back-to-back games here, Clay, to be able to have a say if they're going to be in that top 10 situation.
They do, but look, they've got Venom Smash and Grab, and they're going to drop James down and separate him from his duo. What a 300 IQ play there by Strobe and Goose. They are finally accessing the full power of these Marvel superpowers. They have big brain their way here into the broadcast, and now we get to see it.
Like, why work harder by going for the traditional edit down play? Yes, that will be the play to make. You tend to edit people down if you're sitting on a mid layer going up against someone who's at height. In this situation, it's a very much more intimate layer situation, but that's what Goosh and Strobe did. They went up, they saw someone who's just perched in a one by right above, they took a gamble, sucked them right down into their layer, and that was a wrap then and there. Great use of Venom Smash and grabbing 5 points right there. But let's keep attacking this storyline. Acorn, can he be the Lone Ranger, the lone hero, the vigilante out there to hold on tight for this tournament run? 333 points in that conversation for possibly being in that top 25.
And what a perfect opportunity to do it in the Marvel Super Cup. Stories can be written here. If he's able to clutch up again after again as a solo, it would be such a huge moment there for them. We already see them doing so well in other competitions. They're able to come in under ultimate chaos circumstances and say, hey, you know what? We still got it. We're still on top. Does not matter that Iron Man Junior Beam is in. Does not matter that Venom Smash and Grab is grabbing everybody left and right. We are the champions. They may be able to do it. He doesn't have offensive superpowers, though. He only has the defensive one, Groot's Bramble Shield, and that Silver Surfer Surfboard. But honestly, if I was a solo, those are the two I would pick.
Absolutely. And if you are a solo, you definitely want to be granted that zone access for zone 5, and that's what happens for the half in and half out, pulling towards Green Drakey and Acorn. So Acorn now chilling in the cone, waiting for his opportunity to strike. He does have that firepower in that shotgun to hit someone really super hard as someone walks his way. GG's does go down in the feed. Someone who took out Team Exit as a 1v2 situation was able to utilize. And here it is, Acorn sending that ultimate trap. Poof, pow, surprise, gets that 140 tag on Kosi's. And that is what I was talking about. Acorn now is going to have the ability to get some refresh there, get that moment to breathe, and more importantly, get 5 points on the leaderboard.
It was a perfect execution. You heard me react because I thought he wasn't going to be able to get it, but the piece control there was so perfect. He missed that initial shot, but followed up beautifully, and that's what separates him and Jock from some of these players. They are just that much better at finding eliminations that get away from them, using these powers through their chance to get these eliminations. But that doesn't mean that any of these players are bad by any means. They are way better than me, for sure. And they are outperforming a lot of them, their previous records as well in Marvel Knockout Cups, in other tournaments as well. So it is so good to see players like Mashed Potato 6934 doing very well here with Crunchy.
I mean, hey, might be this combination of a Crunchy Mashed Potato being true in this match right here. 3 E-limbs in that Unibeam opening up that engagement. And taking a look at their kit here, they're electing to have crash pads, which would be a huge factor. Those crash pads may be a thing, and those crash pads will have to come to play as Zone does pull off the clip here. The store industry, it is Zone 6 is going down south, and when things go down south, you gotta watch out for those people coming in from the heavens. We've seen it all the time, some kind of drop kicks with those pump shotguns. That's gonna be a play, and it looks like Nani was able to get back his duo mate here from Trap.
There's no way he was able to pick up the reboot card and get it there. What is very, very good for a lot of these players is almost all of them have prioritized Silver Surfer's board. but they will be able to get back up Stark Industries' big hill that was brought in by Tony midway through that season. It's Nani, it doesn't even matter about rotation. He's trying to fight all of the eliminations, maybe trying to get that Silver Surfer's board, but unfortunately, he did lose his teammate there, and his Bramble Shield was popped a little bit too early, so now he has to try to bounce her off this top of the board. But will he be able to? His shots come through. He does.
Wow,
no!
good use.
What a play! He saves himself with Unibeam.
Yes, the unit beam just has that animation that could kind of just stop yourself from falling, and that moment, brief pause right there from Nani was able to keep him alive and moving in this rotation zone. There he is, the Silver Surfboard, trying to make his way to the front on the dead side, but now we have a good hold from Fungus up top, Barbarian holding up at height, and now we're seeing everybody kind of making these rotations, trying to find the front side of the zone with the Silver Surfboard, which we've been seeing that's being so effective here for that Silver Surfer board, and that's what Duke's FN is going to do. Get to the front side and start turning and burning and start laying down those shots and get himself some big two-piece right then and there. 346 looking great with Vanish Strodies as well, Clay.
Yeah, and Nani is still in this game. Acorn still in this game. Unfortunately, the crunchy mashed potatoes seemingly being eliminated there. Goose still here as well. Acorn will now fall to Strodo's Duke's teammate there, able to pick up that elimination on a very, very big name. And someone trying to do the little Silver Surfer combo there, and unfortunately not able to do so. Nani is going to fall, but Dukes is going to get surprised. There is a player there. The piece control is there for him, but the side jump will get him out. He's running out of builds, running out of time, running out of options. Goose down below, Strobe down there as well. Jordan, Drew trying to make their way in. Crash pads being used, throwing everybody everywhere, just trying to get the shots. Dukes is trying just to hold out for his teammate. We've seen solo clutches on the high ground time and again, but he's not going to be able to catch himself. Fall damage is there, but he's able to get the big pump. Now a 1v1v1. He doesn't have any heals. He has to get these eliminations. He has to get the shots, and he does. Pietro going to go down. Dukes now in a 1v1 scenario should be able to pick it up if he hits the shot. And he does. He takes down Drew for the victory royale.
Clean back to back to back. Pump, shotgun, blast, and ending with a critical 1-5-4 to the dome and a critical victory royale for the run in the Marvel Super Cup. But Clay, what a crazy finish, seeing that in-game coming off a Stark Island. Wow. 16 limbs.
Let's see which duos are leading the pack right now. Jamper, AV, 589 points. But take a look. Demonata, aka Kanata, Macwood, right behind them. And take a look. Technically, they have a better scoreline here, right? A victory royale, 79 eliminations, but their placement must not be as good as Jamper and AV. That's why they have this significant jump in points.
It might be. It also maybe they have one more game under their wraps as well. Again, the queues have technically closed. They may be able to get into another game as well. Who knows? And now on to the 6 through 10 plays. We saw Reverse 2K up there above his trio mate, Miro, who's in 9th place, but they're all just here. All of the trio FNCS champions for NA East are making a show today.
Championship performance is looking very strong, and that is our top 10. And you said so, Clay, the queues are closing now, and now it's just one more chance. So much, Zeke. We are in the end game now, Zeke. It is the final match we're going to watch here in the Marvel Super Cup NA East. And what a ride this has been. So many people behind the scenes putting on an amazing production. So many people here at the desk, Zeke, Clay, and Sundown. Thank you so much for the entireness. And of course, we cannot forget our competitors putting on a crazy show for us to enjoy, to eat popcorn. I am Sancho West alongside my boy Clay, gonna call this last action here on the broadcast. Let's get it, Clay.
I am just as hyped as Sancho, and I hope just as hyped as everybody at home watching along with us, and maybe some of the competitors watching to see how the leaderboard shakes out if they weren't able to get into one final game. And of course, it's fitting that we end the Marvel Super Cup right at the place where I think it all started this season. Stark Industries here, a very contested POI, hotly contested time after time, and again, because there is just so much good loot here. You see one of those chests there, not actually able to grab any of those Marvel superpowers out of it, but it will net him a very good epic burst. Actually going to drop it over there for his teammate. No, pick it back up. He's not going to give that away. And now it's just a standard box fight. It's just a standard fight as Andre is going to take those shots, is going to white him. You hear Black Panther's kinetic armor going down. Will it drop down the builds? No, I don't think they were able to connect there as shots come through, and Crunchy is going to go down. But where are the mashed potatoes, Sancho?
You cannot forget about the sides. The sides are the most important part of the dish. And Andrew says, I got you, Sancho. And I got my teammates reboot carded, Juan and Andrew. Hey, they are sitting at 305 points. They are competing for as well. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars every time they rack up more placement points here. And every time they move up the leaderboard. There's still, this is not the final match completely in a sense of throughout the entire open queues. There's still very other games happening at the same time. We decided just to pick this one to bring you some of the awesome action that may unfold. And some of the big names may be in this lobby. And of course, some of the big names who are competing for the #1 spot may be here. So we got to take a look at the Elim feed to see who's who in this zoo.
And it may be chaotic, and it may be insane. And we're going to catch it all. We've got some amazing observers in the background catching as much action as we can. We've seen replay packages coming out as well for those action shots that we aren't able to catch. Again, like Sandra said, there are a lot of games going on at the same time. This is just one that we happen to be in. Juan is going to be able to get rebooted. Andrix is going to be able to get them back in. And now we are moving on over to one of, I think, the oldest POIs in the game. But moving through chapters, we've got Salty Springs over here. Zik and Edge. Maybe built different, but this is one of the first times, Sancho. You wanted it. We got it. She-Hulk's sister here.
Please. Please. I don't know. That's all I want to see. We've been casting, well, I've been casting about 27. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how many games we've cast today. But that's all I want for the final one right now. This is going to be the game 14 to date. And I would love just to see one Elim. I put it out there in the universe. I wrote my letter to Santa. I like the 262 headshot. I like it. I like it a lot. But I want to see you close the gap with the She-Hulk's fist mobility.
He hit that through the trees. There's no way. Oh, my. Oh, no. I don't know how I would have reacted if he was able to hit that on that silver surfboard player running away. I think Zik definitely would have put that one on all of his social media. But unfortunately, Sancho, he decided that the Groot's Bramble Shield was just a little bit more important.
You know, sometimes you hope that you're going to get a nice present for Christmas and all you get is a lump of coal. I guess I haven't been a good boy, so lump of coal it is. But Acorn and Jack looking for that ultimate prize, that ultimate gift for finishing at the top of the board. They're within that conversation. They're doing pretty decently right now, but we already took a look at the leaderboard just previously, Clay, and Jamper and AV had a huge lead. I think they're in the 500s that we tried to take a look at, like 580 or so. So Acorn and Jack at 370, they need a pop-off game here. They need a 10 Elim plus Victory Royale just to be able to make things a little bit interesting for the top.
Yeah, and in all actuality, they need a 20-plus elimination game and the Victory Royale on top of that. Just even
slow down, my guy.
Close there. I know
slow down,
the math, not always everyone's strong set, but again, it's 5 points for elimination and that Victory Royale worth a lot. So they need to just really push their lead. And look, hey, we've talked about it. We've talked about ambushes. Reese tweeted this out early on before the Super Cup even started. He said, if it was me, I'd be sitting in a bush. I'd be waiting. And now Acorn's got that legendary pump out, able to maybe hit a 200, but he decides against it. Oh, he sees him. He's going back in the bush, Sancho.
Hey, listen, just all the Marvel Universe superheroes, they have great power. My power, it looks like it's going to be hype casting. At the same time, my, consequence at all is poor math. It is what it is. I'll take that. I'll take that roll. And look like Acorn is going to be able to roll an ambush here, opportunity here. You know that legendary pump does have the ability to kind of reach out. He does have it ready to roll here just in case they get closer. At the same time, we already saw in the replay packages that we have here, Storm's Whirlwind Blast able to vault someone high into the sky, and the trajectory is coming out. It switches over to the energy rifle as Arrow and Drippies are now being pressured from different angles from Acorn and Jack.
And all honesty, what could have been the best setup there is if Jock had Venom Smash and Grab, was able to grab one of those players right into the bush into Acorn's waiting arm with that legendary pump.
I like it.
That would have been insane. And this is the first time we get to see Storm's Whirlwind Blast maybe put to good use here. They are going in. They know they need a high point game. They cannot let these eliminations slip through their grasp. They have to be aggressive. They have to go in, trying to break these players down, trying to catch them on their Silver Surfer's board. As Acorn going to leave, or rather Jock going to leave Acorn behind. He's going to try to get some shots there onto the player, surfboarding away, but not going to be able to use. So crash pads will be used. It did Jock finish out this elimination. Will he be able to get it? Acorn says, don't worry, Jock. I got you.
And you're just seeing how the Marvel powers just allow just this huge disengagement, and the cat and mouse game does get extended for a brief moment, and now Silver Surfer's board's in play, and they're going to keep pushing in, knowing that that other teammate there has just used the Silver Surfer board, so they're going to be on a brief cooldown, and they're out in the distance. They're swimming. They're trying to run away as much as possible, and I think right now you hear the call, hey, disengage, let's move forward. We got our 5 points. We need to keep going because, hey, sometimes how it ends up, you've seen it, Clay, in all different types of Battle Royales. You're trying to chase down someone who just eats up all of your time. Time is a valuable resource, a very underrated resource when it comes to rotations, especially in Battle Royales.
I agree. And that player could grab loot and turn around and get the one pump onto you. You have to be careful. Jock actually not grabbing any sort of Marvel superpower. Doesn't want the Venom Smash and Grab. Doesn't want Silver Surfer's board. Maybe able to get one here out of one of those Stark Supply drones. Well, let's see what he's able to get. It's Black Panther's kinetic armor, so he definitely could have picked that up. It's definitely a great ability. We haven't seen it used to its full potential like we saw at the very beginning. We saw it in those packages. I think it was TFC Diddy who played in one of those test events that used it very, very well. It's got a lot of potential, just like Storm's Whirlwind Blast. And a lot of people don't know what it does. So if you don't know, it reflects a lot of damage. It reflects a lot of abilities. It also reflects Unibeam. It does not do any damage to you if you Whirlwind Blast it.
And at the same time, if Wolverine's claws were there, that is something that no one's using right now. That air dash, you have the ability to kind of just move as fast as possible around the map. And that is something that at least you can have temporarily while you're waiting for that Silver Surfer board, while you're waiting for that. But now Acorn and Jock are going to kind of use this football type angle and try to cut him off on the other side of this mountain, and you're going to get that clean angle. Maybe it's going to get that clean form tackle, converting that to that full 10 points against this duo. And like you said, Clay, they're going to have to put the pedal to the metal, considering that they're going to need a super sized pop-off game to get that done, and it looks like they've been gifted the Silver Surfer board for Jock.
And that's exactly what they need. The premium gas has been acquired. But can they get to their final destination on time? Can they find all the eliminations they need? But there's someone up above being a little sneaky. Thor's Mjolnir Strike is going to come in. Acorn going to get tagged up. He was a little shooken by it. It's going to be Oasis on the high ground. Jock needs to try to put some damage back down so Acorn can heal back up. Cone has been put over the top. We see his teammate moving on up. Mephisto trying to put pressure down. They are waiting for that cooldown of the Mjolnir Strike to come back because it's another easy 100 damage. Acorn is healed. Now they're going to turn the fight on their heels. They're going in. They're going aggressive. They know they can get these eliminations as a Mjolnir Strike is going to come in. Doesn't hit Jock. I don't think it did, but the damage came through from another source. Maybe a shotgun, maybe an R. They are there as shots come through. Acorn gets the one pump through the stairs. Unfortunate there for Oasis. And they just knew that they had the advantage once they were able to heal back up. 48-48. That player is so low. And look at this, Sancho. They are not stopping anytime soon.
No, not at all. That is the kind of thing, like, yeah, you get that opening engagement, you get someone who's a high caliber duo, a little bit on the back foot, you get them a little stumble, you get that kind of blow that they did not expect, so all of a sudden, you got to capitalize on that. And there was no follow-up. There was not a proper follow-up, and that allowed Acorn and Jack to kind of restabilize, get back into their front foot, and put some major damage and get that at least one elim out of the duo. So now it's Kiwis and Orange, who we've been watching throughout this entire day. hey, not a bad performance. 276 points. This could be that pop-off game as well. A lot of money is up for grabs here for here on out going forward. This is the final match that we're going to have on the cast here for the Marvel Super Cup. And we get to see, just like we saw on the EU side of things, people were actually making their moves in this match. Can it be Kiwis and Orange who make their move, or will they get blendered and get turned to smoothies? I cannot stop myself from these fruit puns.
Hey, fruit puns, food puns, and fun puns all around. We got to see how it ends, but unfortunately for Suki, it is not going to end well. Kiwis is going to get the elimination there. Only the knock will he be able to confirm it and turn it into an actual elimination. We'll have to see. The UDB may come up in time for that confirmation elimination, but the 35-second cooldown, there's a lot of time, and you saw the siphon effect come through. They do end up getting it there. Equeets is going to get elimination. Trap is going to get elimination there in the feed as well, so maybe able to confirm that duo. Getting that point over, though, is good. They need 4 points, though, Sancho. They cannot stop finding points. And, again, this is another stacked game comparatively to the other ones. And I think a double tag there from that Iron Man UDB.
And we're seeing Kiwis and Orange taking a post on Panther's Prowl. Wakanda forever, indeed. And this is going to be one of those structures that are not going to be broken down by anything at all. It's going to hold strong. And Kiwis and Orange are making a strong run here. Does it have enough here? Now we're going to take a look at the other side of the safe zone. We see Chinkins and Mame looking really good here. Mammy from season 4, 310 points. Like I said, another one as well. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars the more they progress. And Clay, I gotta look at this zone 3, and look what's in play. These mountains right here on the south side of the map have been notorious like game enders for a lot of people who don't have the experience running it, and that's going to be something that we definitely have to keep an eye on as we get closer and closer to end game.
We will, and we saw Iron Man Judy Beam being used in the back end. This is where Groot's Bramble Shield will thrive, because it'll climb up these mountains just fine. This is where Silver Surfer's board will thrive, because it'll help you get up these mountains so well. And if they have it in their inventory, if players have prioritized this, again, we saw Nate Hill do it based on the time of the zone, based on the time of the match, based on the location of the zone. You can change your mythics and these Marvel powers to other ones that will help you get further in the game.
And we're introducing to y'all, the audience out there, some new faces, some new heroes that you may not know about. That is Outcast, Trap, and Good Guy Nani, who had an awesome pop-off game. Do they have another pop-off game in their back pocket to move up the boards? We're already with 389 points. That's a very solid start here. So, yeah, the top of the board is looking really solid, but now we're seeing stories here of people who are literally could, rack in some of this prize pool that can essentially change their lives, set them up for another computer rig. Hey, maybe just give them a little bit of breathing room money. Hey, we'll take whatever we can find in 2020.
I'm with you there. Hey, my earnings go all the way back to World Cup days. I know how these players are feeling. Hey, $1 million been giving out across all the regions. That is a lot of money if you're able to get in it. Even if you're able to get into top 500 today, you are getting some prize money as well. So there's a lot of players that are going to walk home with a piece of the pie. Of course, Zeke, it's pumpkin pie. We can't go back to that apple nonsense that you were having, but it's pumpkin. All these players going to like it. OSP liking those elims he's getting on the Frozen Sniper.
Absolutely. OSP trying to put a back-to-back day. Did really well in DreamHack, and OSP had like a easy double elim game at DreamHack, but now he's going to be amplified with these powers here. Cooper Kit is going to use that ambush that Acorn was kind of set up here to look for a prime opportunity. He's going to have that same aim that Acorn has. That is the difference here as Cooper, yes, he says, I do, Sancho, and gets it right then and there, and his teammate Smoose comes in and cleans up that duo. Hey, they're looking good, but my concern is look where they're at. This position is going to be rough sauce. The zone is going to pull back up the mountains for them, Clay.
And I was in awe of that play. Oh my God, wait a minute. We've got another Venom smash and grab across the map. That player, unfortunately, going to be able to get out. Stick grabbed him, but Jack was not able to finish up the elimination. This is going to be Thor's Mjolnir strike going in. He's got the shotgun out. Will he be able to follow up with the AR tags? One goes through, but they're not going to stop Sancho. They are going to go in. Venom Smash and Grab will be up. He's in a 1-by-1. There you go. Yoink is going to come through, but unfortunately not able to grab him. But the normal AR spray, the box side prowess will come through. This player going to be on there, strike them, but Orange not able to get away. Where's Kiwis? Orange and Kiwis, the fruit smoothie of the day. Will they be able to clutch it up and get to the top 10, Sancho? It does not look good for them right now.
And especially now that cooldown is happening with that Venom Smash and Grab, it goes switch right over to Thor's Hammer Strike. But Jock is here. Jock is showing up. Jock and Acorn now. All of a sudden, they were looking for an orange, and you find an Acorn. And you know, Acorns, they're saying, hey, I am not edible. I'm not as easy as tasty as an orange. And Jack and Stick are going to have to think about what they're doing. Acorn does get tagged from Thor's Hammer Strike, and that could be that opening that they desperately need going against these Fortnite Titans.
Yeah, Jock facing off against Jake, and Acorn facing off against Stick, but they are getting away. Jock is eventually going to take down Jake. The Mjolnir strike not going to be enough. Jock takes down Stick with a quick heads-up play to look back behind him. They've got Silver Surfer's board. They can get out. They're going to go back in for a little bit of extra match because Sancho, they have 8 builds. They don't have a lot, and look at that super powered bounce there for them. They will get into zone, but they are very low. They are very, very, very low.
Talk about a tongue twister. Jock takes out Jack. Try saying that 10 times fast. And now we're quickly and fast approaching to the end game here for this match. It's getting closer to Camp Cod, and out in that distance right then there you see it on the upper side of your screens here, folks. But Acorn and Jack, who are working together, the duo ship is proving really strong as they're trying to get upside the leaderboard. You talked about they need that pop-off game. You talk about those 20 elims. It's still possible here, but Perplex may have a little complex into their monkey. Like, throw that monkey wrench into Jack and Acorn's plans there, Clay.
And as we see a lot of players having monkey wrenches thrown into their game plans, Savage able to make things happen. Strobe and Goose, we saw a very great game there for them, and I like this. Most people wouldn't like this edge of zone in the water play from them, but they've got a good amount of builds remaining. They've got Groot's Bramble Shield as well. They've got a really good opportunity to get out of this game at the top. They've also got Iron Man Judy Beam. As we see Gandhi, dab, the originator, unfortunately going to fall there. The elims will be confirmed. Gonzo going to fall as well. Iron Man Judy Beam is ready, but there's a player up above. They're looking to try to use it. Savage is looking for any opportunities. No! Unfortunately, Acorn is going to fall. The Uni Beam there. Beautiful shot. The follow-up as well. Jordan going to be the one that goes down. The question is, where is Nani, who unfortunately falls? Where is Jock, who is in the game as well?
And Savage is looking really good, vibing out. 5 elims in this match, but let's take a look at overall who could be in this match. It looks like Smacked is in this match with Casker, but it looks like Smacked is solo. A lot of solo players running around. OSP now is solo. We haven't seen the solo clutch. Looks like Thankful Ziggy in that Spirits, getting early into that Thanksgiving vibe, and Ziggy on 60 pin. They are at 308. They are going to compete for hundreds of dollars if they go ahead and progress further in this match, as they had a 308-point day on their leaderboards, but the lobby focus is strong. They're going to go ahead and disengage in that using that Silver Surfer board. That's the kind of moment that you kind of need to breathe, but now it's on cooldown. 25 seconds, and hello! Was that a Group's Bramble Shield just doing a drive-by there? Oh my goodness, watch out!
It seems that way, and you've got to be careful for that. The chaos that happens in the Marvel Super Cups is insane, as we see. Unfortunately, Tiki is going to fall. Ziggy going to get him from up above. And look, we're back over to Savage and Crumbler as they are making a nice rotation on the backside of zone. They do have players following them. They were the first to do it, but I talked about how they were in a really good position. They're not going to have to worry about a lot of players following them up. And Multiverse, we may be in the multiverse, but he is going down.
Yeah, and Savage is doing really strong right now with Crumble. They already had a little stumble, but now they're back in full force, looking really good. 7 elims so far, with a lot more on the board to gather up, especially with the Victory Royale. I like this use of Groot's Bramble Shield, able to break through some builds, able to get some layer chains, and prioritize into that front of zone priority here, Clay. That was a very nice rotation, and Crumble and Savage are together. As you see, Dukes FN still in this fight as well. Everything coming down here. It is 12 placement points for Crumble. A little bit of a misplay there using that Doom's Mystical Bomb, but he kind of just turns and burns and gets himself an elim on that backside of the storm line.
And Jock went down in the meantime, so unfortunately they're out. No more points will be able to be accrued. We see all of the Marvel superpowers being used very effectively. Shockwave bouncers being used as well. Savage is using that Groot's Bramble Shield just to rotate in, and look, stays with his teammate as well. Aquet has Groot's Bramble Shield as well, does not have his teammate Perplexity. Unfortunately, no Iron Man Junior Beam. Does have Silver Surfer's board to use to try to move through these end games. Will take down Strobe there as he's trying to Groot's Bramble Shield out. Unfortunately, going to have to cancel it. Will use the bouncer to get in zone, and he does still have Silver Surfer's board at his disposal. Cooldown has not been used yet. He can still make it happen, but only 3 builds remaining. He has to make a play to try to get a refresh, to try to get elimination. There's someone on the other side that's just walking back and forth. They're right on him. The shots are going to come through. Down to 1 build remaining. It's kind of going up the mountain, but he can't get up. He's going to have to land on Crumbler's builds. No, falling all the way to the low ground. Does he have Bramble Ship? Does he have Groot? No, it doesn't even matter. Gandhi in the zone is going to get taken out. Aquet, is he going to do it? No! What a shot! The turnaround. 200 pumps there from Equate is going to be able to do it now. A 1v1 scenario. This is what he wanted. This is what he needed. Crumbler down on the low ground. One shot could take him out, and it will. Equate is going to take him down. 8 eliminations. Will it be enough? They're winded. This is a victory run there for them. A very good game. Trying to Bramble Shield his way on out, but the shots may be just too much here for them. Equate is going to get it and is going to get the Victory Royale.
Quits with the ultimate equalizer in the Fortnite world. When it comes down to it, the power of a pump shotgun can overcome a lot. And there it is, netting that Victory Royale, and what a fun day this has been. Let's go. I cannot wait to see the leaderboards. This has been the Marvel Super Cup here in the NA East. Wow, Clay, that was a great call at the end game, and just showing you how.
Did they hold on? And your answer is yes. Jamper and AV, they took an early lead, and at the end of the competition, they had enough. They are the heroes here from NA East.
Huge performance, 589 points, 74 elims, average placement of 21. That just lets you know that they were going all in with elims, and when you get to that jump start, Clay, it's a matter of time. You just got to hold on, and look at that, $3,500 going to Jamper and Avery. But hey, look at the rest of the board here, Clay.
Yeah, Kanata and Macwood were very close behind. They were a couple points off, maybe a couple eliminations from getting that first place and overtaking it. But close behind one of our trio of ATS winners of Reverse 2K. They got one of his trio mates there in 8th place as well. Miro making it up here today.
It kind of feels like we're watching the credits roll in our Marvel movie right here, right now, of the Marvel Super Cup. So some unbelievable moments here, some unbelievable runs. Miro and Avery having those runs. Of course, we saw as well Animal and Vanish. But hey, Sigma and Ship Hop, they did really well. They at least had like a 3+ Victory Royale. So some new names coming in, kind of being representative. And seeing Gandhi Dab up here as well. Hey, 1,500. That's a pretty good chunk of change there, Clay.
It is. You can do a lot with that. And of course, hey, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas coming up. Maybe buy your family something nice. Maybe buy Sancho me something nice, Zeke something nice.
Whoa, wait a minute.
So, hey, you never know. We got to check out who's on the last couple pages of the leaderboard, though. Suzuki and Nanolite up there, Smug and Celeste, Lonely and Little L as well.
And you know what, that is what it took right here. Some great performances to at least to get here. There were a lot of big names that entered the tournament that are just not here, but hey, maybe you find an opportunity. If you see somebody that you may like, maybe try to follow them on their socials. Maybe these teammates, these players essentially got their branding correct, because maybe I want to find out who they are. I want to see who they are. Someone that we already know who they are, that I'm a big fan of, is Trappin', good guy for the last time, Nani, coming in at 25th place here, Clay.
Yeah, Aquid and Jock able to make it up into 23rd. And of course, you got good guy Nani there as well. I know you've been hyping him up. We've been hyping him up as well. Able to live up to the hype.
Indeed.